you're going to take them for a ride.
And everybody wants to win at Daytona. Only one will be standing tall in victory lane when it's all said and done, Alex Hayden. We've got a mixture. We talked about it earlier, a mixture of a lot of young talent mixed in with some veterans as well, like a Matt Crafton and a Johnny Sauter.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter at Daytona. They reward the veterans. They reward the rookies as well. Time to get the season going. Let's go trackside for the command.
Daytona International Speedway. This is the moment you've all been waiting for. Are you ready to get the Fresh from Florida 250 started? Here to give the command to fire engines is Fresh from Florida's executive chef and culinary ambassador, Justin Timoneri. Take it away, Justin.
Drivers, start your engines!
That is absolutely how you give the command. 36 engines coming to life. Next, it is the Fresh from Florida 250, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series under the lights in Daytona.
Florida is big, especially when it comes to agriculture. Did you know that Florida has 48,000 farms that cover 9.5 million acres? And thanks to our warm climate, our growing season is 365 days a year. That means you can always find fresh, locally grown food. Just look for the Fresh from Florida logo where you shop. And to see what's in season, find recipes, learn about Florida farmers, and more, join the club for free at freshfromflorida.com/register.
Is this the start of a NASCAR dynasty for Ryan Blaney?
Ready to go to work.
A redemption tour for Chase Elliott? Is Denny Hamlin a ruthless competitor or a villain? Is it time for a Bubba Wallace breakthrough? For Ross Chastain to get back to breaking stuff? Or is this the makings of the wildest ride you'll ever witness? It's all of the above, and it's about to go down. NASCAR. Any questions? The Daytona 500, Sunday, 2:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox.
This is the 25th time the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series has raced here under the lights at Daytona. When we come back, we're going to take you for a trip around this 2.5 miles super speedway. From Daytona International Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
At Pilot Flying J.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
Welcome to the party. Welcome to the party.
Here's the starting lineup.
Starting in position number 36, Keith McGee. Lawless Allen will go from 35th. Jason White from 34th. Timmy Hill will start 33rd. Mason Massey is ready to go from 32nd. And Spencer Boyd will start 31st.
Corey Roper goes 30th. Brian Doza starts 29th. Ty Dillon will go from the 28th starting spot with Stephen Parsons starting 27th. Corey Heim starts 26th. Christian Eckes is the 25th starter. Ben Rhodes qualified 24th. However, he'll drop to the back of the field due to unapproved adjustments. Starting 23rd is Jack Wood. Grant Enfinger starts 22nd, and Lane Riggs goes 21st.
20th will be Rajah Caruth. Brett Holmes will start 19th. Chase Purdy will start 18th, and Stuart Friesen ready to go from 17th. Starting 16th, Jake Garcia. Dean Thompson will start 15th. Cody Rohrbaugh will start 14th. Tony Breidinger in the field. She's ready to go from 13th. Taylor Gray will start 12th, and Matt Crafton will start 11th.
The grandson of the king, Richard Petty, Thad Moffitt, will start 10th tonight. Bailey Curry will start 9th. Tanner Gray goes 8th. Daniel Dye is the 7th starter, with Nick Sanchez starting 6th. Tyler Ankrum will go from 5th. Matt Mills qualified 4th, and Corey LaJoie starts 3rd. And on the front row, it's an all-Badger State front row with Johnny Sauter starting 2nd, and winning the pole position is Ty Majeski.
100 laps, 250 miles. Stage 1 done at lap 20. Stage 2 at lap 40. Then it's a 60-lap run to the checkered flag on this 2.5-mile super speedway.
Now let's take a trip around the Daytona International Speedway and bring in our turn announcers for this evening's race, presented by Creed. Get tickets at livenation.com. Usually, it's my sacrifice. Tonight, it's my pleasure to bring in from Barrie, Vermont in turns 1 and 2, Dave Moody.
Thank you very much, Alex Hayden. Good evening, everybody, from high above turn 2 here at the World Center of Racing, Daytona International Speedway. 31 degrees of banking here in turns 1 and 2. Plenty of room to spread out 2 and even 3 wide. This race always wildly unpredictable. A huge disparity in experience in this field. There are a handful of drivers that have got 15 years of experience here at Daytona. There are also a few that haven't yet got 15 minutes. How it all works out depends a lot on who you surround yourself with, how you find the drafting partner, when to keep them, when to throw them to the wind. We'll cover it all from the Sunoco Tower, high above turn number 2. Now let's go to the other end of the Daytona Superstretch in Milford, Delaware's Mike Bagley.
Thank you, Dave, and good evening, everybody. Dave talks about the analysis portion of this racetrack, turns 1 and 2. The backstretch, the Daytona Superstretch, this is where you execute those moves. As they come out of 2, it's a 3,500-foot run from 2 down to turn 3, and this is where we see the draft take over. Aggressive bump drafting has caused trouble in races past. We've also seen successful drafts pay off in winning moves here at Daytona. It's all about who you know and who to go with, and go with the right one at the right time. It's always a chess match over here on the backstretch, and we'll cover it all here for you tonight. Once they race by me, it's back up into the banking of turns 3 and 4, where they'll race into the view of Dylan Welch of Carmel, Indiana.
Thank you, Mike. Those pushes and shoves you talked about ultimately set the field up for the final sprint to the start-finish line. A good push into that 31-degree banking of turn 3 can help get you to the front of your lane or the field in the closing laps, but a bad push into the banking can disrupt your momentum, cost you positions, or, as we saw last night in the second dual race, lead to calamity and collisions over here in turns 3 and 4. These two corners and how you get out of them is the deciding factor of who wins and who doesn't here at Daytona. These trucks will flatten out off the banking of turn 4, pass me on the short chute, and head back into the tri-oval towards Jeff Striegel, Alex Hayden, and Cole Custer.
All right, thank you very much. That's Dave Moody, Mike Bagley, and Dylan Welch. They'll call the action for you momentarily when we put them under the green flag.
Discover new opportunities together in a new
strong, confident, and supported. So get pro-level care with Advent Health, the official healthcare provider of Daytona International Speedway and Legacy Motor Club.
One more trip to pit road, find out what the strategy is before we go under the green flag, and we'll do that next from Daytona International Speedway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Last night was crazy. I was swimming in the depths of Atlantis 1 minute and exploring the jungle in Aztec Quest the next.
Dude, thought I told you that nobody likes hearing people talk about their dreams?
But that wasn't a dream. It was real life. I was talking about Lucky Land Slots.
Whoa.
With over 100 free-to-play games available, you'll never be bored. Wake up to LuckyLandSlots.com.
Available only to players in the U.S., excluding Washington and Michigan. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ TNCs apply.
Winter weather predictions can be unreliable. Be prepared for whatever's in store this year with Howe's Diesel Treat and Howe's Diesel Lifeline. The nation's #1 anti-gel, Diesel Treat is the only guaranteed anti-gel on the market. And Diesel Lifeline has absolutely no harmful alcohol and requires no mixing or fuel filter replacements. Available nationwide, Howe's products are designed to keep you rolling through the toughest conditions. Howe's, tested, trusted, guaranteed. Visit Howe'sProducts.com.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR is found right here. This is Christopher Bell on Sirius XM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Moments away from going under the green flag, let's get a strategy update from pit road, and we're going to start with Steve Post.
Jeff, down here, I love a veteran crew chief and a veteran driver, and that's what we have with Corey LaJoie and Brian Patty calling the shots. Brian from across the state in Zephyr Hills, Florida, is where he's a native of, over in the Tampa area. This is start number 739 for Brian Patty here in the National Series. He's a two-time winner here at Daytona. 2002 in the Xfinity Series with Joe Nemechek, 2017 with Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and he's hoping to add a Truck Series win here tonight with Corey LaJoie. Jason?
Nice Motorsports is here, and they're trying to go for championships. 2 for drivers with Matt Mills and Bailey Curry this year, but they want that owner's title. That's the truck that Johnny Sauter has the wheel of here tonight. Caden Honeycutt, Ross Chastain, Connor Mozak are all going to share time in that truck for Nice Motorsports to try to find themselves a championship. That's their #1 focus here tonight. Kim Kuhn?
Well, it's a new era for Front Row Motorsports as Lane Riggs kicks off his rookie campaign. A lot of pressure in the race, especially after Zane Smith brought that truck to victory lane 2 years in a row. Lane told me there's 2 goals tonight: gain respect and come out unscathed. He said we're on the offense, not the defense. They have the same setup they've had the last 2 years. We'll see if Lane can find success here at Daytona.
Field exits turn number 4 behind the Toyota Pace truck. It's time to get the season started. To call the start of the Fresh from Florida 250 for the Motor Racing Network from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Here's Jeff Striegel.
Under the lights on a Friday night, 36 trucks are ready to go to kick off the 2024 season for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, making their way down to the line. Green flag goes in the air, and we are underway. Ty Majeski and Johnny Sauter side by side in row 1 as they come up to speed as they head to turn number 1.
Up through the gearbox, hard on the hammer, and into the 31-degree banking of turn number 1, and still fighter pilot pace lap formation. Nobody with the advantage. Now Majeski by half a fender will take the lead on the inside.
Matter of fact, Majeski will slide through, take sole possession of the lead, leaving Johnny Sauter on the outside to race side by side with Corey LaJoie. Here comes the outside line kicking in. Johnny Sauter out by a fender on the end of the back straightaway.
They even out once they hit the banking of turn number 3. The inside lane led by Majeski starts to surge back, but here's the outside lane with momentum again, side by side, all 4.
Neither driver has the advantage. Ty Majeski on the bottom of the racetrack.
Welcome to
Johnny
the
Sauter goes led by Johnny Sauter on the outside lane. He's got a tailgate full of Matt Mills.
Matt Mills giving him a good shove into turn number 1. Johnny Sauter half a truck length up, but Majeski not about to quit. He'll battle back, taking the low road down on the double yellow line. Now it's Majeski taking the lead back.
They're already getting racy mid-pack. 3 wide lane led by Grant Enfinger just outside of the top 20. All eyes, though, at the front of the field. That seesaw battle for the lead between Ty Majeski and Johnny Sauter continues.
It seesaws once again with Majeski leading the inside lane right around the double yellow line. Sauter with a side draft outside, pulls back even.
Corey LaJoie right there, Matt Mills, they line up virtually in row 2. Right behind them, Nick Sanchez and Tanner Gray. Across the line they come, a virtual dead heat. Ty Majeski on the inside, Johnny Sauter on the outside.
Sauter trying to rev it up in that outside lane one more time. He has pulled even with Majeski, but here comes Corey LaJoie on the back bumper of Majeski, giving him a big-time shove off turn number 2. Ty Majeski back to the lead.
Ty Majeski out in front all by himself, courtesy of the front bumper of Corey LaJoie. Put Majeski in position number 1. That doesn't last long. Oh, Johnny Sauter just got a huge shove from Matt Mills. He'll go to the lead.
The two Nice Motorsports teammates making the outside lane work. Sauter goes out front by himself. He can control both lanes, and he does. Sauter the leader also.
With the hard bump drafting going on the Daytona Super Stretch, Cole Custer, that can lighten up a truck, but you got to be careful not to damage your truck in the same instance.
Yeah, you actually saw there Matt Mills, he gave such a huge shove to Johnny Sauter. His hood, his bumper's actually damaged now. That could play into a little bit of a problem, especially if he's leading. It's not going to be as fast as it was.
Boy, Thad Moffitt got bounced out of the draft and in a free fall all the way back to 22nd. Meanwhile, off turn number 2, they begin to line up nose to tailgate down the back straightaway.
Front 5, front 6, all nose to tail, led by Johnny Sauter, with Ty Majeski, Corey LaJoie, and Tyler Ankrum, the top 4.
And Matt Mills is leading that outside lane, and he has dropped out of the top 10. So to Cole's point, wonder if he is having some aero problems. Meanwhile, they're single file 1 through 10.
They are, as they come right down to the bottom of the racetrack. The double yellow line is there. It's prominent. You cannot overtake a competitor using underneath the double yellow line, or you'll be penalized as they begin to huddle up downstairs, outside lanes, trying to find an opening.
Trying but not having a whole lot of success. Dropping back through the pack, Matt Crafton losing a handful of spots. Top 15 trucks now, single file on the bottom.
They are side by side from 16th on back. They're trying to get their affairs sorted out there. Everybody content to ride at the bottom of the racetrack behind Johnny Sauter, while drivers, Dylan, continue to swing and sway off the end of the back straightaway mid-pack.
Everybody trying to get it sorted out. Nick Sanchez is leading the outside lane now, just outside the top 10, but it's still Johnny Sauter, Ty Majeski, and Corey LaJoie.
As they make their way back off of turn number 4, now the front 10, maybe 12 trucks right down in the bottom. It all got broken up when the damage occurred to the Matt Mills truck. The nose of that truck, Kim Kuhn, appears to be shoved in, and there's a gap right there where the hood would normally seal off.
Absolutely, and they made their driver aware of the nose problem. They've laid out bare bond. They're preparing to repair it at the end of stage 1. There's no reason to bring him down now, lose the draft, so they're just
trouble
telling him.
Back straightaway. Tanner Gray is around, others around. Nick Sanchez, 5, 6, 7, 8 trucks. Ty Dillon is involved. Lawless Allen will clip Thad Moffitt. Rajah Caruth hard on the brakes. Oh, and he's going to get right rear damage. Matt Mills is collected. He'll have more damage. You've got Jake Garcia, Stuart Friesen, as everybody goes for a wild slide halfway down the back straightaway.
Caution on the speedway for the first time tonight on lap number 5. A lot of trucks involved in the incident. As the smoke and the dust settles, Mike Bagley, anybody able to drive away?
Everybody is driven away except for Jake Garcia. He hammers the throttle. He's pulling away. The only one is Ty Dillon off the end of the backstretch in front of me. The Thad Moffitt truck has been able to coast on the apron all the way through turn number 3. The Moffitt and Dillon trucks still sit at rest over here at this end of the racetrack.
Under caution, for the first time this season, it flies on lap number 6, a multi-truck crash here at Daytona.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough, but if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. The Alzheimer's Association provides care, support, and research to help you take control of the situation with your family and manage the disease together. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
High hopes dashed. A lot of excitement coming in for a number of drivers. Well, their night is going to end early. A crash on lap number 5, midway down the back straightaway. Upwards of 10-plus trucks with heavy-duty damage Cole Custer, Alex Hayden taking a look at it. They made their way off of turn number 2, rocketing down the back straightaway, and then Alex Hayden, it all broke out.
It did indeed. We're having an opportunity via NASCAR TV to take a look at it, Cole. It happened on the Daytona Superstretch over there. What did you see?
I mean, overall, just too much pushing. You know, you had 3 or 4 guys pretty much locking bumpers with the 88 of Matt Crafton, Christian Eckes, Tanner Gray, all 3 of those guys locking bumpers. It was just a ticking time bomb. They were racing so hard, and eventually one guy just got out of shape, and it collected the whole field.
Well, we have counted so far 11 trucks involved. We'll step aside, come back and recap it for you next from Daytona International Speedway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
A winter without earaches caused by cold and flu? We're here for it. Get fast, effective relief from ear pain, clogging, and sensitivity to cold with Highlands Earache Drops, the #1 best-selling earache treatment for over 10 years. Highlands Earache Drops was awarded Best OTC Medicine and Health Products in Earache Relief by U.S. News and World Report for 2024. See why Highlands Earache Drops has received Walgreens and Target.
Claims based on traditional homeopathic practice, not accepted medical evidence, not FDA evaluated.
Soon it will be the end of the week, and soon
Holy
you will be at a
Jesus.
NASCAR race.
What is that?
Weekend dedicated to
What
all
the
things
fuck
big,
is that?
fast and loud. Concerts, tailgates, friends, family, and, oh yeah, racing. 75 years of it to be exact. Soon you will have the weekend that you'll wish never ended, that you'll talk about for years to come. Soon can't come soon enough. To experience a NASCAR race in person, visit NASCAR.com/tickets.
Almirola now gets a fender out in front. New leader off turn 4.
This is Eric Almirola on your 24/7 home for NASCAR. Sirius XM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Well, we are continuing to add up the number of damaged trucks here on lap number 5 is when the crash occurred. We're working right now under caution lap 7 with John. Make it 8 now as they come across the line. Johnny Sauter, Ty Majeski, Corey LaJoie, Tyler Ankrum, and Daniel Dye. That is your top 5 after a big one on the back straightaway.
Yeah, that took out, well, or damaged, I should say, quite a few trucks. Took a couple of them out. Damaged trucks, part of the incident over there on the Daytona Superstretch. Rajah Caruth got a piece of that mess. Matt Mills got some. Jake Garcia, Stuart Friesen, Thad Moffitt, Matt Crafton, Ty Dillon got some of it. Lawless Allen, Lane Riggs, Tanner Gray, Keith McGee, and the truck of Nick Sanchez so far are the ones that have got damage of some sort and a problem with the back straightaway out there at the big crash. Let's check on some of those trucks who have been on the pit lane getting some repairs with Steve Post.
Yeah, ironically, it's the first 4 pit boxes down here. All 4 of those trucks have damage. Nick Sanchez has the first pit box. He had 3 of his 4 tires down. They came in. They're going to come back in again and take a once-over of it. Kevin Bonamanian, the veteran crew chief, calling the shots, and they're looking at that truck now. The truck that has the most physical damage is Jake Garcia. The right rear is really dinged up on that truck, and they are working on that. They're also working on the right front, and they may be looking to push that truck back to the garage area. It's not looking good. Tanner Gray had damage on his truck, the right side of that truck, or left front on that truck, and Lawless Allen, right front damage. They're working on that, and they had about a half a bale of hay from up under that truck as well that they've worked out from under it as he went down through the grass. So 4 of them right down here at pit exit in turn number 1.
Chase Purdy sitting on pit road. As a matter of fact, right now he pulls out. Keith McGee also on pit road along with Stuart Friesen and others. Cleanup continues here at Daytona under the lights after the crash on lap number 5.
This is Fresh from Florida Chef Justin Timoneri. Thanks for all your messages asking for new ways to enjoy fresh Florida strawberries. The great news is that Florida strawberries are a great addition to a ton of recipes, like fresh salads, sweet desserts, or even savory dishes. Don't take my word for it, try them yourself. Fresh from Florida strawberries are in season now, and using local strawberries makes all the difference. Find these recipes and many more at freshfromflorida.com. Enjoy.
Blue Green Vacations, the official vacation ownership provider of NASCAR, invites you to believe in the power of vacation. With Blue Green, you can create the vacation that fits your lifestyle, sharing a lifetime of memories at a collection of unique, locally inspired resorts and popular destinations across the U.S. Blue Green owners also enjoy exclusive access to VIP NASCAR packages that deliver the thrill only NASCAR can provide. Start your vacation journey today at BlueGreenVacations.com.
Working lap number 9 at the moment. We'll get you back under the green flag here shortly from Daytona International Speedway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Happy New Year from Amazon Relay. Can I still say Happy New Year? I never know when to stop. You know why? Because our work never stops, y'all. We've still got power-only loads, local or long haul, or bring your box truck or trailer. You'll still get discounts on fuel, maintenance, and equipment. And you'll still have the app by your side with real-time load details, easy check-ins, and even weather alerts. Keep hauling into the new year. Visit relay.amazon.com and book today.
NASCAR fans, thinking about heading to the track? The official NASCAR Tracks app is the ultimate resource for planning and attending your next event. Discover tickets, event schedules, maps, and facility information to make your experience memorable. Get notified of the latest happenings right on your mobile device.
Ready, green flag, green flag.
New for 2024 is scanner access right from your phone.
Got a race to win, my man.
Listen to driver and team communications while at select NASCAR Tracks. Download NASCAR Tracks today on the Apple App Store or Google Play.
Hey race fans, this is Tim McGraw on your home for NASCAR, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
We've documented that a number of trucks have been on pit road simply to be fixed. Lap 9, Jason Toy, pit road opened up, and a number of other trucks came on to pit road.
Yeah, a good handful of them came in, Jeff, to try to play a little strategy when it comes to the end of stage number 1. Tony Breidinger came in. They took on fuel for her. Also, we saw Grant Enfinger. He was involved in the accident, but he stayed out until pit road opened. He didn't want to get the penalty out to start at the back. They came out. They blew some of the dust that got built up in there from the grass and pulled out a little bit on the fender. He was very happy with the way the race truck was, but a lot of teams taking advantage of it right now to put them in a fuel window here to put them through. We're looking at about 32 if you're leading. You're looking at about 38 if you're back in the pack when it comes to a full fuel run.
Let's check in with Kim Kuhn at the Advent Health Care Center.
And Alex, Thad Moffitt's the first driver that's been released. How did that incident happen?
You know, I saw the 88 get loose up there. I got loose a couple of laps earlier. Everybody was just pushing really hard to start right there. And I think it's kind of unnecessary lap 5 in the race to be pushing that hard. But I saw him bounce off somebody and try to drive through the middle of the smoke. And 33 came up across the track. And that was the last thing I saw. So here's what it is. We'll move on to Atlanta next week and try and capitalize on the speed we had today.
That's Thad Moffitt. Although his day is done today, we'll see a lot more of him. This marks his first full-time season in the Craftsman Truck Series.
Right now, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Motor Racing Network.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR.
Craftsman Truck Series tonight, running the fresh from Florida 250. We're only 10 laps in. A big crash already on lap number 5 has taken out unofficially 3 trucks. More on that in a moment. Jeff Striegel alongside Alex Hayden and Cole Custer out in the turns tonight. Dave Moody, Mike Bagley, and Dylan Welch up and down pit road, and they have already been busy. Steve Post, Jason Toy, and Kim Kuhn.
Just getting the 1 to go signal from Chief Starter Rich Keeter here at the start-finish line, and it's time to choose which lane you want to restart in. If you're a driver, you have that option, inside or outside, and here on the super speedway, that could really be something that could come into play.
Johnny Sauter electing to go to the outside. The next 3 drivers lining up to the inside. Those 3 drivers, Ty Majeski, Tyler Ankrum, and Daniel Dye. What's the thought process, Cole Custer, electing to pick inside or outside here at Daytona?
You know, I think the biggest thing in the truck series is some guys might be a little bit scared to go to the outside just because a lot of times it gets single file around the bottom, and I think a lot of guys just know that that's the safe place to pick, really. But, man, with how aggressive these guys have been, you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, they are pushing, shoving, going 3 wide. They came to race tonight for sure.
They absolutely did, as we're half a lap away from the field, coming back around to the Geico Restart Zone presented by Geico. Is your insurance playbook confusing? Make it easy. Switch to Geico and get all your insurance coverage from one place. Go to geico.com to get started today.
By the way, that voice that you just heard was Cole Custer, NASCAR Xfinity Series champion, and you were talking about how aggressive it is. At some point, and did it probably just happen, whether it be the spotter, maybe an owner or a crew chief, coming on the radio and saying, all right, chill, let's just calm down. We got a long way to go in this one. Does that happen?
Man, I would hope so. I mean, those guys, it was some of the most, I was nervous lap 1 with how hard they were pushing, side draft, and everything they had going on. It was some of the most aggressive racing that you'll see. So, and honestly, with these trucks, they're some of the hardest cars to drive in the draft in the top 3 series of NASCAR just because of how aerosensitive and boxy they are. So when they start pushing and shoving, it's a ticking time bomb till they wreck.
Let's hope it doesn't happen again and we can get some laps in. We're about to come down and click off lap number 12. That'll give us 8 laps to go in stage number 1 of the season opener. Here they are back in the Geico Restart Zone, and the green goes in the air. Field comes up through the gearbox. The bump drafting begins immediately. Everybody pushes and shoves. Ty Majeski, Johnny Sauter, Bailey Curry, Tyler Ankrum head to 1.
Didn't take long for the bump drafting to begin. It was halfway down the straightaway, and they were already at it full song. Ty Majeski by a fender on the inside line. Top side, Johnny Sauter trying to wind it up off the exit of 2.
Front 6 rows look like they're literally sewn together now as everybody just tries to break loose and separate from each other. Tight formation now. Johnny Sauter leads the outside lane. Here comes Ty Majeski to the bottom.
First 11 trucks have broken away, and now the back half of the field starts to bring themselves back towards the front. And back up front, it's still side by side for the top 2.
All of this on lap number 13, hard racing front to rear. We'll get you back on the track in a moment. First, though, let's head to the Advent Healthcare Center and Kim Kuhn.
And an early night for Ty Dillon. That incident, walk us through what happened from your vantage point.
I still really don't know how it started, but you could feel that something was going to happen as crazy as everybody's driving 3 laps into the race. I just saw a truck get turned across, so I had a hole and went through the grass, and when I did, it just spun my tires back across, and I thought I was just going to tap the wall and we were going to be okay, and I think they just washed back into us. So just unfortunate for our Rackley War race team. That Silverado, I think, was going to be pretty good, but just a small hiccup to the start of a good year. We're gonna rebound nice in Atlanta and be strong the rest of the year. Daytona, for whatever reason, just hasn't been kind to me the last 2 years. It'll get straightened out.
Ty Dillon making his return to full-time Truck Series racing.
Young man Lane Riggs back on the pit lane, cut down a right front tire with the damage he had at that corner of the race truck. He will lose a lap as the field will thunder by as he sits on the pit lane. It's still Johnny Sauter up front, headed to turn 1.
Sauter by about 2/3 of a truck length, but not for long because back comes Ty Majeski on the bottom. The top 20 trucks are still nose to tail, 2 abreast. Wow, a little bit of contact between the Johnny Sauter truck and the inside line led by Tyler Ankrum.
Tyler Ankrum just gives the Ty Majeski truck a shove into the clean air. Here's Ankrum trying to go along for the ride. He can't. Ankrum and Sauter wheel to wheel.
Majeski out front by himself, so the first side-by-side races for this second spot. Majeski drops down to pick up Ankrum on the inside lane, and Sauter leads the outside.
Johnny Sauter trying to lead that outside line, back up and pull even with Ty Majeski, and he's going to do it. And as a matter of fact, he's going to lead him across the line. That outside line beginning to roll. Johnny Sauter and Bailey Curry.
Ty Majeski's not done with it on the low line, though. He pulls even again with Sauter. He puts a bumper out on the inside lane. Majeski back to the lead, but back and forth the seesaw goes again. Here comes Johnny Sauter topside.
A lot of drafting help behind these 2 drivers. One will advance at
trouble. Turn 2. One truck spinning down low, sliding up his Wallace Allen. 360. 1, 2, 3. Finally comes to rest down on the apron as some of the back markers make their way past. Single truck incident. Wallace Allen at the exit of turn 2.
And that'll put us under the caution flag for the second time. And for the second time, Lawless Allen has been involved. And certainly, Dave, this one certainly, I think, has remnants from the first crash.
It absolutely does, Alex. The damage on the right rear corner of that truck cut down the right rear tire. He was along for the ride from there.
And we are under caution for the second time. And we're working lap number 16. It's Johnny Sauter at the front of the field.
Discover new opportunities together in a Silverado, or mix it up in a high-tech Trax with an available 11-inch diagonal touchscreen. Find family, friends, and fun in the Chevy that's right for you. Chevrolet, together let's drive. For J.D. Power 2023 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Craftsman is back on track with Deal of the Race. During this year's Craftsman Truck Series, we're giving race fans rockin' deals on tools. Take advantage of this Craftsman deal and get 33% off the 61-piece low-profile ratchet, 3/8-inch drive mechanics tool set. Do it fast. Do it proud. Do it with Craftsman. Current offer available through April 30th, 2024 at Lowe's and Ace Hardware in-store and online. Restrictions apply. See craftsman.com/deal of the race for details.
Under caution, working lap number 17. Remember, stage 1 is done at lap number 20. Will we put them back under the green flag before that happens? We'll find out together. From Daytona International Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
2 questions. Do you have a small business? Great. And do you have 5 minutes? Even better. You've got everything you need to start an application for quick, hassle-free financing from Capitus. We've helped more than 50,000 small businesses just like yours get competitive financing and the working capital they need in as little as 1 day. So, don't wait. Skip the red tape and get a decision today. Apply at Capitus.com. That's KAPITUS.com.
187.
Pickup is quick and easy. You'll also get a vacation voucher and a tax.
Donate your car.
The peak of daylight to the inside.
This is Austin Dillon on your 24/7 home for NASCAR. Sirius XM NASCAR Radio, Channel 9.
Still working under the caution flag. No indication of going back under the green flag yet. So let's take a trip back to the Advent Healthcare Center. Kim Kuhn, who are you with?
18-year-old Jake Garcia making his first Daytona start. Unfortunately, it's going to end early. What happened?
Just got caught up in that wreck there. I mean, they wrecked in front of me and trying to miss it didn't work out. So just want to thank Quanta Services and Thor Sport Racing, Ford Performance for the opportunity. Really special to get to race at Daytona here. Really disappointing. We started our year in a hole here, but I'm sure we can make it out of it. Just disappointing night all in all, but excited for Atlanta next week. Got a home game.
That's Jake Garcia.
Yeah, tough break for Jake Garcia. Tough break for all these drivers. You put so much effort and so much work into this truck to get ready to go racing here at Daytona, and everybody's optimism level is as high as it can possibly be. You come out here, and by somebody else's mistake, you get wadded up, and that's just it.
Highs and lows of big-time stock car racing. Cole Custer, you've experienced both ends of that, the absolute highs of winning a championship and being able to see the checkered flag and coming up just short. How do you coach somebody like this and to be able to balance the emotions of NASCAR?
Man, I mean, this race, you just got to block out and focus on the next one. You know, there's no worse feeling than being wrecked out, not even after the first stage. You know, you're 15 laps in and you're done. And at the end of the day, it is what it is. You know, you have to move on and try and move on to the next one. But, I mean, it really stings when you go to Daytona and there's so much anticipation to this race and you get taken out early.
Well, if you think the opening 18 laps have been exciting, how about this? We've just gotten the 1-to-go signal. When we come back around to take the green flag, we will have a 1-lap dash to the end of stage number 1, where the top 10 finishers of stage 1 will earn points.
Yes, that's going to be interesting. Dave Moody, hang on. Mike Bagley, get ready. Dylan Welch, if they make it that far, he'll have the call off of turn number 4 back through the tri-oval. Again, this is going to be wild. We have seen, if you're just joining us, first of all, welcome in, season opener for the Truck Series here tonight at Daytona. We're only 18 laps in. We've been slowed just twice, but one of them was a big wreck. It's been, I guess, in a word, aggressive.
It has been, but this is why so many people come out on a Friday night of Speed Weeks presented by Advent Health to watch the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series here at Daytona. They know they're going to get a bang for the buck. There's going to be a lot of excitement, a lot of action, and it's delivered already 18 laps into this thing.
And by the way, the infield here jam-packed with race fans in RVs, tents, campers, anything that they can get into the infield. And how about this crowd on a Friday night? It is a good-looking crowd getting ready to watch their favorite driver go back under the green flag. It will be a green-white checker finish, or not a green-white. It's going to be a one-lap run to the green and white checker is what I meant to say. Johnny Sauter, Ty Majeski, Bailey Curry, Tyler Ankrum, Taylor Gray, Dean Thompson, Brett Holmes, Christian Eckes, Jack Wood, and Tony Breidinger.
Green flag goes in the air. Here we go. One lap to determine who's going to get points to start the season. Through the gearbox they go, side by side through the majority of the field, led by Johnny Sauter.
Sauter's up by about a half a truck length in that outside lane, but as expected, here comes Ty Majeski, glued to that double line at the bottom of the racetrack. Johnny Sauter trying to crowd him down a little bit. Sauter by half a length, now a full truck length.
Now Johnny Sauter will pull to the bottom of the back straightaway, try to throw the block on the inside line. Now he'll race his way back to the middle. They're 2 and 3 wide. Bailey Curry now will make the move and go to second.
It's Nice Motorsports 1 and 2 as they climb the banking at turn 3. Ty Majeski third, Tyler Ankrum fourth, Taylor Gray fifth. They're all single file, and then they're 3 wide from 6th back.
Boy, many of the trucks have bailed out of this run back to the green and white checkered flag. Not Johnny Sauter, though. He is up front, and he will bring his truck across the line and score the first stage win of the season. Stage 1 done. Johnny Sauter picking up the stage win. He does it in front of Bailey Curry, Ty Majeski, Tyler Ankrum, and Taylor Gray. Top 5 across the line. Lap 20. Green and white checkered flag and the caution flag together here at Daytona.
It's O-Rewards Bonus Points Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Shop in-store or online to earn points and get rewarded at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Give us a follow. The Motor Racing Network is on Facebook, X, YouTube, and Instagram. We've got links to all our podcasts, MRN Radio Race broadcasts, and NASCAR news and information. Video podcasts on MRN's YouTube and Facebook. On X, use the hashtag AskMRN to connect with us and our award-winning race announcer. Give us a like, post a comment, share a podcast. Just search for MRN Radio, the Motor Racing Network, on all your favorite social media outlets.
Curious what drivers talk about during the race? Visit RacingElectronics.com today to purchase a scanner and listen to uncensored audio from every team in the race. Learn more at RacingElectronics.com or stop by and see them in the vendor area today.
Stage 1 is done. Johnny Sauter picking up the green and white checkered flag. That is his 5th stage win here at Daytona. More than likely, he'll be on pit road very shortly. From Daytona International Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Hear that? The sound of your antique fountain pen gliding across linen paper as you journal in the park. And if you were here, you'd be inspired by the warm breeze. But you're not here. Because your self-care happens out on the road, riding your motorcycle protected by Progressive. And the wind in your face on the road is all the inspiration you need. So if you ride, get a quote and see if you could save with Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Now that's inspiring. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Calling all nonprofit organizations. The NASCAR Day Give-A-thon is back for 2024. What's that, you ask? It's a national campaign to help nonprofit organizations raise funds to support their local missions. By signing up for the Give-A-thon, you gain access to a national marketing campaign to build visibility and donations for your nonprofit at no cost to you. And as a bonus, special incentives and prizes will be announced along the way to help you maximize your efforts. Visit NASCARDayGiveathon.org to sign up today.
Bowman, the showman, has won at Las Vegas in overtime.
This is Alex Bowman on your 24/7 home for NASCAR, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio Channel 90.
Back at Daytona, under the lights, Johnny Sauter out front, at least for the moment. He picked up the stage win. Tonight's race is presented by Fresh from Florida. NASCAR fans, lead the pack in freshness when you join the Fresh from Florida Club. It's free and it's easy to sign up. Plus, you'll be supporting Florida farmers and fishermen at the same time. Register today at freshfromflorida.com.
Pit lane remains closed for the moment, so Cole, we've got to talk about this. We've gone 22 laps. With that all being said, 12 of those will run under the green flag of the 22. Now that we've reached the end of stage number 1, if you're a driver out there, is there any way you can convey to try to get your spotter, your crew chief, whomever, to talk to the others to say, let's settle down and race for a while?
I would hope so, but I mean, every single time we say that, it seems like they don't listen. So I feel like, look, it's so tempting to make those big pushes. You know, these trucks get such big runs, they suck up so easy, and it's tempting just to hit the guy in front of you to try and get the line moving. But it looks like these bumpers, they don't line up. So when you push somebody, you're taking them for a ride, and it's a ticking time bomb till somebody wrecks.
More with Cole Custer in a moment. Right now, let's visit with Kim Kuhn yet again at the Advent Health Care Center.
And Jeff, Lane Riggs has been released from the care center, ran out of time on the DVP clock. What ultimately took you and the truck out?
Yeah, just running out on the DVP clock, right front tire, right front rub, just didn't get it fixed in time. But, man, we were so early in the race, and the bottom line was coming, and the top lane was pushing like it was the last lap. And I'm not a super speedway expert by any means. I have 5 laps at a super speedway, but I know that's not how you're supposed to do it. And you're not supposed to push that hard where you turn somebody on lap 5. So it just sucks. We were riding right there in the bottom lane, really getting good track position. I think we made at least 8 spots, early right there. So the truck was super fast. I hate it for all my guys. Hate it for Lowest Travel Stop, Front Row Motorsports, Vandy Communications. It's it's a tough break. I just want to get out in there and race. I just want to learn. I got 5 laps to learn, so it's a really tough break. But this is not how our year's going to be. We're going to come back. We're going to rebound. We're going to be back next time.
I would describe that as frustrated but optimistic. Unfortunately, we will not see the 38 truck repeat in victory lane here at Daytona.
No, we will not, and that's such a tough break for such a young driver who's got such great talent. Pit lane is open, and here comes a lot of the field. They're about half of it. The rest of them who already made a pit stop back on lap number 9 are electing to stay on the racetrack, as those that do come to pit lane will all begin to funnel to their pit boxes. We start with Steve Post.
Yeah, down here we've got Dean Thompson has brought his Toyota into the crew. Pretty happy with the truck. They're just going fuel only, giving the truck a good once-over. There's been some debris on the racetrack and some other things. They want to make sure they're in good shape with that. Bailey Curry brings his truck in as well. More trucks in front of Jason Toy.
Down on this end of the pit road, we saw the first time stop for our leader, Johnny Sauter. Phil Gould said we're going to do fuel only. So about 5 seconds of fuel to get them to the end of stage number 2. No tires for him. Also, Chase Purdy came in, took on 4 tires. Sunoco fuel for them in that Bama Buggy Chevrolet. He is still on pit lane, trying to do some damage fixing from that first incident out there on pit road.
All right, Jason, thank you very much. Not everybody came to pit road. Ty Majeski has yet to come to pit road, nor has Tyler Ankrum or Christian Eckes. Those 3 go 1, 2, 3, but they've got to be short on fuel.
Florida is big, especially when it comes to agriculture. Did you know that Florida has 48,000 farms that cover 9.5 million acres? And thanks to our warm climate, our growing season is 365 days a year. That means you can always find fresh, locally grown food. Just look for the Fresh from Florida logo where you shop. And to see what's in season, find recipes, learn about Florida farmers, and more, join the club for free at freshfromflorida.com/register.
Kyle Larson brings his Chevy in. Ford fires Sunoco Racing Fuel.
From fueling NASCAR champions on the track for over 20 years to innovating 94 octane, the highest octane on the market. Performance is what Sunoco does. All Sunoco fuel at the pump meets the same top-tier standards as the fuel used in NASCAR.
You stop here for Ryan Blaney, 4 tires with Sunoco fuel.
From the track to your tank, you can trust Sunoco to help your vehicle perform at its peak.
When we come back, we should be ready to go back under the green flag. It's Ty Majeski, Tyler Ankrum, Christian Eckes, Corey Heim, and Ben Rhodes. That is, right now, your top 5 from Daytona International Speedway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Cars for Kids is not just for cars. We accept all kinds of real estate, too. Vacant land, homes, commercial properties. We've handled them all. Got an unused property racking up bills? Consider donating it to Cars for Kids. It's easy, and Cars for Kids takes over all expenses. Best of all, you'll get a tax deduction for the full appraised value of the property. Join thousands of donors and make the smart choice for your property. Visit carsforkidsrealestate.org or call 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to learn more. That's Cars with a K.
What does fearless sound like? Like sliding through a glimmer of daylight?
Side by side for the top spot.
Like trading paint with a champion? Like starting in the back of the pack and stopping at nothing till everyone is choking on your dust.
Get you checker flag here, man.
Welcome to the party. Welcome to the party. Yourself. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on Fox and FS1.
Austin Cindric, the Daytona 500 win.
Hey, it's Austin Cindric. Catch SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Live or stream your favorite shows anytime on demand with a SiriusXM app.
But a number of drivers have yet to come to pit road. What's the strategy? Let's find out. Steve Post has the answer.
Yeah, listening into Charles Deneke and Christian Eckes, they're third out there in line. And the fuel window here, I was told if you're leading the race, it's 32 laps. But you could probably go 37, maybe 38 if you're back in the pack. So this second stage ends at lap number 40, and we have had a number of caution periods. So I actually talked to Joe earlier, and he said with a lot of cautions, you might be able to make it into stage 2. And I know that is what the story is, at least with Christian Eckes, assuming the same with Johnny Sauter and those other couple of trucks that stayed out on the speedway.
So we'll find out how the strategy will indeed play out, as we've just gotten the 1-to-go signal here at the start-finish line. By the way, the Blue Green Vacations fastest lap of the race so far was run by Ty Majeski at 186.831 miles per hour. Blue Green Vacations, the official vacation ownership provider of NASCAR, invites you to believe in the power of vacation. With Blue Green, you can create a lifetime of memories at our collection of unique, locally inspired resorts and enjoy exclusive access to VIP NASCAR experiences. Start your vacation journey today at BlueGreenVacations.com.
4 truck drivers are out of the event, and I think Kim talked to all 4 of them: Lane Riggs, Jake Garcia, Ty Dillon, Thad Moffitt. Right now we have 30 trucks, believe it or not, even with all the action, still on the lead lap. Top 10 at the moment: Ty Majeski, Tyler Ankrum, Christian Eckes, Corey Heim, Ben Rhodes. Top 5 before the choose: Tony Breidinger, Corey LaJoie, Grant Enfinger, Matt Crafton, Daniel Dye. Top 10.
Let's go through the rest of the top 20. Matt Mills is 11th. Rajah Caruth is 12th. Nick Sanchez goes 13th. Stephen Parsons is 14th. Corey Roper is 15th. 16th is Johnny Sauter. Taylor Gray 17th. Bailey Curry is 18th. 19th is Dean Thompson. And 20th is Brett Holmes.
Well, we mentioned 30 trucks on the lead lap. Let's take you all the way down, at least to that point. Cody Rohrbaugh is 21st, Brian Doza 22nd, and Jack Wood 23rd. Chase Purdy, Tanner Gray, Timmy Hill 25, 26, 27th is Spencer Boyd, Jason White 28th, Mason Massey 29th. Stuart Friesen right now is in position number 30. So again, we'll take you to lap number 40 as we get ready to go back under the green flag. It will come out on lap number 26. Up front again is Ty Majeski as the pace truck hits pit road.
That'll give us only 14 laps remaining in stage number 2 as the green flag goes back in the air. Majeski on the outside lane has a tailgate full of Corey Heim. Downstairs, Tyler Ankrum getting shoved all the way to turn 1.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good shove going on right now, too, courtesy of Christian Eckes, and it will shove Tyler Ankrum out into the clean air, and he will take command of the lead. Eckes right behind him in the second spot. He'll stay with him as they exit turn 2.
Ty Majeski backing up in that outside line. He's lost 2, 3, 4 spots as he tries to regroup. The inside line takes over. Leaders race their way off the end of the Daytona Superstretch. Tyler Ankrum at the controls.
You've got Christian Eckes, his McAnally Hilgeman Racing teammate, buried up under the back bumper. Ben Rhodes has joined the fray at the front of the field, as have Corey LaJoie and Matt Crafton.
Tony Breidinger just did not come up to speed working through the banking of the turn 1 and 2, and that has really separated this field, putting the top 10 or 12 Dave nose to tailgate, headed back towards you.
From the back of the pack, from dead last at the drop of the green, Ben Rhodes, the defending series champion, up into the top 5, up now into the top 3. For the moment, the first 7, 8, 9 trucks all huddled up on the bottom.
First side-by-side battle is where Corey Heim races in the outside line. He leads that line out of turn number 2. He needs a lot more drafting help, needs a lot more assistance. Nick Sanchez now will jump in line in front of him in 3.
So the numbers growing in that outside lane. Tony Breidinger, Daniel Dye back there leading that second group as the top 5 all run nose to tail.
That side-by-side battle is indeed for the number 6 spot, and then it's 2 by 2 from there all the way back to the tail end of the field. Some drivers are beginning to lag back, knowing that there's only 12 laps to go here in stage number 2, and the potential, Dave, for another problem.
Well, there's always the potential for another problem, and in this one, it hasn't stayed at potential very long. It's happened very quickly. That outside line's beginning to gather some momentum. Moving it up on the outside lane, led by Nick Sanchez.
And that outside line will pierce the top 5 now as Corey Heim starts to get the help he needs, inching his way closer to the front. Corey Heim now has Nick Sanchez, now Corey LaJoie in front of him.
LaJoie bailed off the bottom, opened that lane up for Matt Crafton as the outside lane loses a little momentum. Crafton moves ahead into the 4th.
Boy, they're banging on one another coming off turn number 4. Corey LaJoie on the outside. Nick Sanchez right there. Corey Heim, Ty Majeski. They're all working that outside groove.
Well, Corey LaJoie jumped up into that high lane, trying to rally the troops and make their way to the front, and he's going to do it now. Ben Rhodes will jump up in front of LaJoie. Rhodes now the 3rd place truck. He's got to move on in the high groove looking for second.
One by one, they begin to migrate to the outside line. Leaders exit 2. They race up the Daytona Superstretch. Tyler Ankrum was out front all by himself. Here comes that outside line, storming up the outside. It is Ty Majeski in 3.
And it's a 4-pack at the front of the field. Ankrum and Eckes on the bottom. Ben Rhodes and Corey LaJoie in the outside lane. For now, Ankrum gets propelled back to the front by himself.
He's going to stay right at the bottom of the racetrack. That outside lane is steamrolling towards the front, though. They're side by side for the 2nd spot, led by Ben Rhodes. They're going to go up to the side of the race-leading truck, and just like that, we're wheel to wheel for the top spot.
Ben Rhodes trying to go worst to first in the first 2 stages, and he's got some momentum up high. Drafting help from Corey LaJoie. LaJoie hangs off his back bumper at the exit of 2, and that gives him a big old shot coming to the straightaway.
Ben Rhodes leads the outside line. Taylor Ankrum leads the lane down low, side by side for the lead. Each driver with ample drafting help behind them. They are still locked together at the point.
The outside lane edges ahead just briefly, but with that said, now Ankrum gets a good shot from Christian Eckes behind him, door to door for the lead off 4.
Boy, last lap, 188 miles an hour. Here comes the Thunder, back off 4, back through the tri-oval, and a dead heat at the line. On the inside, Tyler Ankrum. On the outside, Ben Rhodes.
Rhodes on the outside lane, again, getting plenty of help from Corey LaJoie. LaJoie will back off them now as they hit the exit of turn number 1. Field makes its way to the Superstretch as caution flag and the yellow lights are on at the Superstretch entrance.
That is because there is a big chunk of debris right on the double yellow line here at the Daytona International Speedway. So NASCAR putting the caution flag out for the 4th time in the race just to get that debris retrieved. And Cole, it seemed like the time bomb began to tick yet again.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you saw there was Corey LaJoie, I mean, obviously has a ton of experience in the Cup Series, and he was really able to push and get that lead car really close to the front there. And I think with his experience and knowing how to push guys without wrecking them, he was able to really make that line move. And also, those guys on the bottom lane, they are hanging on for dear life. Every single time somebody comes onto their door, they're jumping sideways, they're washing up the track. So those guys on the bottom lane, they have their hands full.
He knows. He's Cole Custer, and we are under caution caution. We are working lap number 32 of 40. Green and white checkered flag will fly to end stage 2 on lap 40. It is Ben Rhodes at the front of the field.
Discover new opportunities together in a new Chevy. Meet up in an Equinox, winner of the J.D. Power Award for initial quality among compact SUVs. Lend a hand in the strong and capable Silverado, or mix it up in a high-tech Trax with an available 11-inch diagonal touchscreen. Find family, friends, and fun in the Chevy that's right for you. Chevrolet, together let's drive. For J.D. Power 2023 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Are you ready to go back to the summer of '99? Creed is back. Summer of '99 tour. For the first time in more than a decade, with very special guests on select dates, 3 doors down.
From Daytona International Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
If you want jazz music, go to New Orleans. Bagels, New York. And for psychics, think California Psychics. You want the best, you go to the best. At California Psychics, home of free spirits and open minds, we know better than anyone what makes a good psychic. That's why we guarantee, if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
You flew the trap on 6. You birdied 12 and 13. You closed out the match 4 and 3. From your numbers to your windows, everything was dialed. That was yesterday. Outperform your best. Titleist, the #1 ball in golf.
Your 2023 Cup Series champion is Ryan Blaney.
This is NASCAR champion Ryan Blaney on your 24/7 home for NASCAR. Sirius XM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
We had a short one-lap sprint to wrap up stage 1. We're going to have a short sprint to wrap up stage 2. We're working lap 33, soon to be 34. The earliest we could go under the green flag would be a 5-lap run to the green and white checkered flag.
So far, we've run 18 green flag laps out of the 33 that have been posted here in tonight's race.
What are you trying to say?
Trying to say we've run 18 green flag laps. I'm trying to say we've had 4 caution flags, a couple of big crashes down there, and obviously this latest for debris. And then we had the end of stage number 1 to bring us out of caution as well. The stage 1 winner was Johnny Sauter.
We are trying to keep 30 trucks on the lead lap. Stuart Friesen would be the last of them. He is leaving his pit stall in front of Kim Kuhn.
Yeah, Stewart had to come down. He had that earlier damage sustained. He was actually the one that brought up the caution. His right rear went down, but they were paying particular attention to the left front. It was just dragging and kind of rubbing on the tires, so they made sure to pull away the sheet metal and the fender from that. Also had Matt Mills on this end of pit road. Remember, he had that early nose damage. They were working a little bit more on that, as well as Brett Holmes taking 4 tires in Sunoco fuel.
Yeah, so that is part of it. Stuart Friesen got a big chunk of the big crash on lap number 5 that really damaged his race truck, but he's soldiering along. The team's done a yeoman's work down there to try to get the body work put back as closely as they possibly can without any kind of tire rub, but off and on pit lane for the better part of this opening 33 laps for Stuart Friesen.
Observation that I have, Alex, and I think you will agree, Thor Sport has brought some very good Ford F-150s. Ben Rhodes from the back of the pack all the way to the lead. Right now he is second. Matt Crafton is running in position number 4. Ty Majeski sat on the pole. He led a number of laps. As a matter of fact, he's led 6. Pit strategy has kind of shuffled him up and down, but those trucks look to be rock solid.
They do, but it's been a small sample size. Again, only 18 green flag laps, and a lot of that's been hold your breath type of racing. So that all being said, you can't take away from what they've been able to do so far in this race. They have been solid. They've shown speed. The drivers have done a masterful job. These trucks seem to be dancing a little bit more as they get buffeting around in the air out there in the draft. But these drivers are skilled, and they are hanging on to these trucks.
And we did not get the one to go, so it will be at least lap 36 before we go back under the green flag. Cole Custer on and off the throttle, meaning we go back under the green flag, we run 5, 6, 8 laps, maybe 2, and the caution flag comes back out. We run 5 or 6 or more under the caution flag, and then it's repeat. How difficult is it a good thing for a driver? You know, back under the caution, you get a chance to think it through, or once you put the green out, you want to just stay on the hammer?
Well, you would hope that the guys would get the point that they need to calm down a little bit. You know, I feel like there's definitely a lot of pushing and shoving going on. But at the end of the day, what you learn is that cautions create cautions. You know, it bunches the field back up. It gets everybody stacked up and pushing again. So it could just keep happening. You know, it looks like this is going to turn into a survival race. You know, the trucks are so out of control when they get pushed. All those guys are dancing all on the bottom lane. It's definitely, those guys have their hands full out there. I think it's going to be who's going to be left at the end.
Chief starter Rich Keeter shows the field the one to go signal this time by. And as a programming note, we're not going to be done racing when the checkered flag flies here in the Fresh from Florida 250. We've still got the ARCA Menard Series season opener. That will be tonight, live here on the Motor Racing Network, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That race was scheduled to be run tomorrow afternoon, Jeff. But again, they have elected to move that race to tonight for a very good reason.
Yeah, you know, obviously everybody has opportunity to take a look at the forecast. The forecast for tomorrow at the moment, not good. And ARCA officials, along with NASCAR and Daytona, electing to take them off the schedule from tomorrow and move them to tonight. We talked about it during the Cup Series qualifying that took place here live on the Motor Racing Network at 5:30 tonight. We talk about the fact that an ARCA team isn't a truck team. It's not an Xfinity team. They don't have the resources financially like a Cup team does. And if we do, in fact, have to rain out that event tomorrow, if we ran it, they would be required to spend another night here in Daytona. They've got the crew and everything else. So just to save a little money and do what's right, they've moved that event to tonight following this event, which is the truck race.
Yeah, and it's just simply a safe gamble that right. They're doing there to make that happen, which, by the way, you're really good at safe gamble. So that is just a smart move on the industry to make that happen. The NASCAR Xfinity Series set to open up their season tomorrow. Broadcast for you live. Cole Custer will be ready to go racing there 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the NASCAR Xfinity Series United Rentals 300. The NASCAR Cup Series will have final practice for the Daytona 500. That'll be tomorrow. We'll have that here on the Motor Racing Network as well, 10:30 a.m. And that leads us up to Sunday, the 66th running of the Daytona 500. Live flag-to-flag coverage begins with NASCAR Live Race Day with Mike Bagley, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
They have waved off the restart. So instead of going back under the green flag here on lap number 36, we'll take another trip around the racetrack and put them under the green flag on lap number 37. So it will be a 3-lap sprint to the green and white checkered flag that will wrap up stage 2. Let's visit with Dave, Mike, and Dylan. Observation time, and I think it's been obvious. Alex has pointed it out. We've not really been under the green flag all that often. As a matter of fact, 18 laps under green. Dave, 18 laps under the caution flag. What have we learned so far?
Well, we've learned that momentum is a wonderful thing and that it's tough to find when you're stopping every 3 or 4 laps because of another caution flag. I've got a feeling that if we can get 6 or 8 or maybe 10 or 12 laps of consecutive green flag racing, these guys and gals will sort each other out and we'll be just fine. But Mike Bagley, that hasn't happened much lately.
No, we've not had the opportunity for what you described, but we have had the opportunity when we've been under the green flag for a lot of bump drafting. We talked about it at the top of the show when we went around the racetrack before we got the race started. Bump drafting is a good thing if it goes good. It's horrible when it doesn't. and we've been lucky to not have more calamity because of it. There have been some monstrous bumps coming over here on the back straightaway. It's a wonder we've not torn up more sheet metal than what we have. You would have thought the pack would have gotten the message when we wadded them up over here the first time, but Dylan, they are on the chip tonight, and that aggressiveness that's on the back straightaway has carried itself at times up into the banking of 3 and 4 in front of you.
It has, and we've heard the folks up in the booth talk about just some of those out-of-shape moments that some of the trucks have had on the inside lane, and some of those have been courtesy of the outside lane just being aggressive with the side drafts and just trying to keep the lines even. So with points on the line here in 3 more laps, I don't have the inclination that things are going to calm down anytime soon, but it should be an exciting sprint to the end of stage 2 here.
Which would be only 3 laps as they make their way at a snail's pace up off of turn number 4 and back down to the short straightaway to get to the tri-oval and the Geico restart zone. Tyler Ankrum will restart on the inside lane. He's got Ben Rhodes, Corey LaJoie, Christian Eckes, Matt Crafton, Nick Sanchez, Daniel Dye, Corey Heim, Ty Majeski, and Grant Enfinger, the top 10.
We only have to run 3 laps under the green flag before we see the green and white checkered flag. Let's see if we can do that. Tyler Ankrum on the inside is getting a big push from Christian Eckes. To the outside, that's Ben Rhodes, and they're back in 1.
As they did on the last restart, Ankrum and Eckes tag team, and it's a pretty solid combination because they have shot away to the lead and to the second position. Matt Crafton will follow them through on the low side. Up top, nothing going for Ben Rhodes.
Yeah, they are slow to come up to speed there. They're trying to get themselves rallied together as the leaders, the front 4, the front 5, have broken away on the inside line, led by Tyler Ankrum.
Second in line is Christian Eckes with Matt Crafton third. Then they are side by side for the 4th spot. Daniel Dye on the inside, Ben Rhodes on the outside.
Rhodes has a tailgate full of Corey LaJoie, and there's a near moment there on the transition off the banking to the flat. Back to the line. 2 laps to go here in the stage. Ankrum has the lead. Eckes behind him. Matt Crafton in line 3rd. Then they're double wide from 4th on back.
Matt Crafton riding in that number 3 spot right now, just kind of biding his time, it appears, waiting for an opportunity if it should present itself. The first truck outside, that's Ben Rhodes. He's side by side with Daniel Dye.
As we're going to hear caution come over the radio in our ears, and the caution will be for moisture. It is raining here at Daytona. Yellow flag flies. Lap number 38. Check that. Yes, indeed, 38. It'll be 39 when they come around. Under caution, you know, again, you look at the forecast. You hate the forecast because there's rain in it. And this is such a big week with so much on the line as they were racing off of turn number 2, trying to get through the second stage. Alex Hayden with Tyler Ankrum out front. You kind of pointed up into the lights, and it's obvious that right now it is raining here.
It is, but I wouldn't call it a heavy rain because the majority of the fans in the stands are staying right where they're at. There are a handful that are getting up. Golden opportunity under the caution to make their way underneath the stadium, maybe go get rid of a beverage so they can buy another one and just kind of hang out there. The caution flag out just 1 lap shy of the end of stage number 2.
Top 10 at the moment, and more than likely they will complete the stage this way. This is unofficial. Obviously, they haven't come all the way back around to complete lap 40. Tyler Ankrum, Christian Eckes, Matt Crafton, Ben Rhodes, and Daniel Dye. That is your top 5. 6, Ty Majeski, Corey LaJoie, Grant Enfinger, Nick Sanchez, and Corey Heim. That is your top 10 under caution due to the weather and moisture as they make their way down the back straightaway.
Yeah, they do. So let's go around the racetrack and get an official look up and find out what the weather report's going to be. Starting in turns 1 and 2 with Dave Moody.
Yeah, it's raining. There's no question about it. It started out just as a very light mist. So light you almost weren't even sure it was falling. But now it's turned into a pretty heavy mist / light sprinkle at this point. Definitely enough for them to have to put it under caution as they did.
Always the bearer of bad news in turn 2, Dave. We've got to turn that around. Let's see if Mike Bagley agrees at the end of the back straightaway, Mike.
Unfortunately, Jeff, I am going to agree with my turn brother from another mother in turn 2. It's doing the same thing over here at the end of the backstretch. Not heavy by any means, but it's heavy enough to put out the caution flag and just slow the field down and get everybody regrouped here. But we do have rain on the backstretch.
Dylan Welch, as you watch them all begin to come off the racetrack behind the pace truck on the pit lane, what are your thoughts with the weather, Dylan?
Well, I'm dry over here. It hasn't quite made its way across the infield yet. It sprinkled just a little bit right before that caution, but it stopped over here at the exit of turn number 4. So whatever is over there on the backstretch side of the racetrack has not made its way over here, and hopefully it won't, and that'll speed up the process here of getting us back going racing.
I knew there was a reason why I liked him more than the other two. Dylan Welch has got you covered over in turn number 4. Now, in front of us, it would also appear as though it stopped raining. The green and white checkered flag is waving at the start-finish line. Lap 40 is complete. Tyler Ankrum, Alex Hayden picking up the stage 2 win.
And here's the rest of the top 10 that earn points. Christian Eckes will be second, Matt Kraft in third, and Daniel Dye fourth. Ben Rhodes will be fifth, Ty Majeski 6th, 7th, Corey LaJoie. Grant Enfinger is 8th, Nick Sanchez 9th, and Corey Heim 10th.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough, but if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. The Alzheimer's Association provides care, support, and research to help you take control of the situation with your family and manage the disease together. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Trucks have made their way onto the pit lane. There was very light moisture falling around parts of the Daytona International Speedway, and that's the reason for the stoppage here at lap number 40, and the red flag will go in the air, and this race has been stopped for the moment. From Daytona International Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
You work as hard as your truck, and you have no time for downtime. That's why more truck owners trust Blue Def, America's #1 diesel exhaust fluid brand. Each batch is guaranteed pure, so you can avoid costly repairs caused by inferior DEF. Demand America's best for your truck with Blue Def and Blue Def Platinum. Put trust in your truck. Learn more at bluedef.com.
This is the make or break moment.
Oh, my goodness.
Not just for the day,
He's going to go back to back.
but for the years to come.
Green has to win.
This is where a race isn't just about the race. It's about the doors it can open.
That kid is amazing.
The number of fans wearing your number. This is the chance to carve your name into the history books. The NASCAR Xfinity Series on Fox and FS1. Names are made here.
Kyle Busch, he is a champion yet again in the NASCAR Cup Series.
This is Kyle Busch on your 24/7 home for NASCAR, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
We welcome you back to the World Center of Racing, the Fresh from Florida 250, under the red flag for light moisture that, it fell a bit ago. It's still very light here on the front side of the Daytona International Speedway. And by the way, lap 40 has been complete as they came down the pit lane. They went past the start-finish line. That is officially the end of Stage 2, and that makes this race official for any kind of circumstance should we have to stop the race due to weather. But according to the radar, it looks pretty good. We should be able to get the trucks back out there soon and get them running again. Time now for a mid-race update presented by Pfizer.
We put them under the green flag now 40 laps ago, and it was indeed Ty Majeski that led the field to the green flag. He led in total 6 laps. Johnny Sauter had a grand total of 20 laps. He has a very good truck. Currently, we're sitting under the red flag due, again, to Mother Nature. We've been slowed a grand total of 5 times already in this event for a total of 20 laps, meaning we put 20 laps under the green flag, 20 under the caution. Currently the top 10, Tyler Ankrum, and again the trucks are on pit road and shut down. Tyler Ankrum, Christian Eckes, Matt Crafton and Daniel Dye, top 4. Ben Rhodes is 5th. Ty Majeski, Corey LaJoie, Grant Enfinger, Nick Sanchez, and Corey Heim complete the top 10.
Why don't we check in with Steve Post right now, who's, well, got some guys down there that can't really do much of anything at the moment, Posty.
Well, Scott Zipadelli, crew chief for Corey Heim out there. The truck sits in 10th after pit cycle and everything. Scott, first and foremost, how is the truck? What's Corey telling you about your automobile?
He hasn't asked for any changes. He says it feels pretty solid. It's not moving around a lot, but have noticed a lot of trucks in front of us and back of us are using a lot of racetrack. They look like they're quite a handful, but he keeps picking the outside. He likes it out there, but it seems like it's taking a little bit of time to get that line moving and get a lot of energy in that line. So we'll see what happens here.
How tough is this race? We have Cole Custer joining us in the booth, and he's talked a little bit about rhythm or lack of rhythm. How tough is it for you as a crew chief, for Corey as a driver in a race that's so much stopping and starting?
Yeah, it definitely hurts, especially the younger guys with not a lot of experience. But then again, it could give them a break to talk about things with their team and spotters, try to coach them along, and these trucks can be a handful in a pack. So let's hope this weather goes away and we'll get going and finish the rest of the race. See if we can get our Safe Flight Toyota Tundra in Victory Lane. It's going to be a lot of fun for the fans. I can guarantee you that.
No doubt about it. It certainly will. Scott, the topsy-turvy development style of the truck series, there's a lot of times you move on from drivers and crew chief. What's it like for you to come back for a second straight year with Corey and be able to build on what you guys had last year?
It's like it's a breath of fresh air to have your driver 2 years in a row. I had Austin Hill for 3 years, and that was a lot of fun. But, yeah, I mean, we had a lot of fun last year. It was kind of rejuvenated my career just because, we didn't have so much fun the year before, and we like to win. And sometimes you think, man, I don't know how much longer I want to do this. If we're not winning, I'd like to stay home with my kids more. But, yeah, working with Corey has been a lot of fun. The team's just such a good group of guys, great family people, and we just have so much fun doing it. And, winning is everything. And with this group, I know we can win.
Have fun tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
There we go. Scott Zipadelli, one of the really good guys in the garage area, former championship-winning crew chief here in the truck series, and having a good time with Corey Heim. They sit 10th spot now as we wait under this break.
Yeah, a breath of fresh air, as he described, being able to work with the same driver for 2 straight years. Now, Jason Toy, your crew chief that you're hanging out with is with a new driver this year.
That's right. Jeff Hensley is down here, and he is hanging out with Taylor Gray, the youngster who full-time running this year. Of course, had to sit out the Daytona last year until he reached the 18 years of age, but getting paired with the veteran and Jeff Hensley. And Jeff, you've been down here a lot of years. You've seen a lot of races at this racetrack here, and we've battled rain here with you too over the years. But how do you anticipate the rest of tonight going here? You got a driver that's been very fast up front tonight.
Taylor, he's done a heck of a job there in our JBL Toyota. Just I kind of got him a bad spot there. We had a plan to pit for fuel on there at the end of the first stage, get some stage points, which we did. Kind of expected more people to come, to be honest with you, but they didn't. So now we've hopefully we fixed our situation. When they do get going, we can come in here, get a splash of gas, and get back out front with 3-lap tires. But he's doing a heck of a job. Everybody's doing a great job here. The truck's pretty sporty, and good Lord above, keep the weather away for a while. We might have a shot at this thing.
All right, there you go. Jeff Hensley, he's the crew chief for Taylor Gray. And, yeah, like I said, they brought him down here. They put on 4 fresh tires, so they can mark that off the list. They do have to get one more splash of fuel to be able to make it the rest of the way once they get rolling. But he's been sitting down here along with a lot of other crew chiefs kind of scratching their head a little bit, hoping they can keep the trucks on track to keep some heat built up into the track. But now it looks like they're getting fired back up to roll back out.
Yeah, they are. Red flag has been lifted. The yellow flag is back out. And the drivers who never got out of their trucks, nor did the trucks get covered up with the rain tarp, they will go ahead and refire their trucks. That gives us a chance to visit with Kim Kuhn. Kim, I see you hanging down there around the Matt Crafton pit.
That's right, and calling the shots is crew chief Jared Prince. All right, we're going for the second half of this race. What do you guys have, and what do you think of this intensity we've seen so far?
Well, it was pretty crazy for us at the beginning there. We got a little incident, tore the fender off, but the truck's pretty good. We're just trying to stay in line, keep the rest of it clean till the end of the race here. So for now, we're just going to pit here and play it safe.
That's Jared Prince. We're going to let him talk to his driver as trucks are back on the racetrack, and we'll see what happens the second half of this race.
Indeed, we're back under the yellow flag. Trucks now begin to pull away. Top 5, Tyler Ankrum, Christian Eckes, Matt Crafton, Daniel Dye, and Ben Rhodes.
This is Fresh from Florida Chef Justin Timoneri. Thanks for all your messages asking for new ways to enjoy fresh Florida strawberries. The great news is that Florida strawberries are a great addition to a ton of recipes, like fresh salads, sweet desserts, or even savory dishes. Don't take my word for it, try them yourself. Fresh from Florida strawberries are in season now, and using local strawberries makes all the difference. Find these recipes and many more at freshfromflorida.com. Enjoy.
Blue Green Vacations, the official vacation ownership provider of NASCAR, invites you to believe in the power of vacation. With Blue Green, you can create the vacation that fits your lifestyle, sharing a lifetime of memories at a collection of unique, locally inspired resorts and popular destinations across the U.S. Blue Green owners also enjoy exclusive access to VIP NASCAR packages that deliver the thrill only NASCAR can provide. Start your vacation journey today at bluegreenvacations.com.
40 laps are complete. 60 remain here tonight in the season opener for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Rain has moved out of the air. We're ready to put them back under the green flag, and we'll do it shortly. From Daytona International Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
This year, change how you see your hair with Nutrafol.
Once I started taking Nutrafol, I could visibly see my hair get thicker.
Nutrafol, the #1 dermatologist-recommended hair growth supplement brand.
Nutrafol has taken me back to the hair I was meant to have.
Join the 1 million people growing at Nutrafol.com. That's Nutrafol.com. These statements and products have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition. Paid for by Nutraceutical Wellness, Inc.
Navigating life stages, Caring Transitions offers support for every step of the way. For seniors relocating or downsizing, we offer a compassionate, individualized approach that provides comprehensive solutions. Estate sales, our experts will list your items on our exclusive online platform, CT Bids, preserving memories and keeping your family's best interests at heart. And for those tough cleanouts, we're here to help. Visit CaringTransitions.com. Caring Transitions, embracing new beginnings with confidence.
Bubba Wallace got a big shove, and it's going to be good enough to lead this race.
This is Bubba Wallace. You're listening to Sirius XM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90, America's home for NASCAR.
Working lap number 41 now, and pit road will indeed open up. Now, this is officially open. That means the teams can service their trucks. So, Kim Kuhn, a long line of trucks headed your way.
And let's start with reigning champ Ben Rhodes. He brings his Ford F-150 to a stop in front of the crew. They're going to go right side. They will put 4 fresh Goodyear tires on this racetrack, fill it up full of Sunoco fuel. They did have to pull the fender out of the right front where he sustained a little damage. Matt Crafton on pit road, Raja Kruth, Brian Doza, as well as others. Steve Post.
Christian Eckes is in. Going to be 4 tires, Sunoco Racing Fuel. Same call for Corey LaJoie as he gets his 4 tires and fuel. Trucks down and away right now as they roll down 4 tires for a lot of these trucks. Some of them going with a little different strategy because it just came in. So lots of varying strategies down here from pit road. Jason.
Tyler Ankrum, our leader, came in, took on 4 tires, Sunoco fuel with Mark Hillman leading that crew. Chase Birdie, Corey Roper, Taylor Gray back in. Gray with fuel only. We just heard from Jeff Hensley on what they were going to do there. Grant Enfinger along with Johnny Sauter, Tony Bredinger, also Ty Majeski. All of them getting final splash of fuel here to try to make a run to the checkers.
And that was the overwhelming majority of the lead lap trucks that made pit stops.
Discover new opportunities together in a new Chevy. Meet up in an Equinox, winner of the J.D. Power Award for initial quality among compact SUVs. Lend a hand in the strong and capable Silverado. Or mix it up in a high-tech Trax with an available 11-inch diagonal touchscreen. Find family, friends, and fun in the Chevy that's right for you. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. For J.D. Power 2023 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Give us a follow. The Motor Racing Network is on Facebook, X, YouTube, and Instagram. We've got links to all our podcasts, MRN Radio race broadcasts, and NASCAR news and information. Video podcasts on MRN's YouTube and Facebook. On X, use the hashtag AskMRN to connect with us and our award-winning race announcer. Give us a like, post a comment, share a podcast. Just search for MRN Radio. The Motor Racing Network on all your favorite social media outlets.
Lap 41 is on the board as we work caution flag after a slight red flag due to moisture falling from the sky. But trucks are back on the track, fans in their seats. We're ready to get this thing back going very soon. From Daytona International Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Give your dog a wag-worthy life with Dogtopia. Enroll him in weekly daycare at the leading dog wellness provider in North America, where dogs get to play, learn, and grow in a safe and fun environment. Best of all, tune into the fun via live webcams. Feel good about the health and happiness of your pet by joining the Dogtopia family today. Visit Dogtopia.com to find your nearest location or to learn about franchising opportunities with the biggest name in the game. Dogtopia.com.
Is this the start of a NASCAR dynasty for Ryan Blaney? Ready to go to work. A redemption tour for Chase Elliott? Is Denny Hamlin a ruthless competitor or a villain? Is it time for a Bubba Wallace breakthrough, for Ross Chastain to get back to breaking stuff? Or is this the makings of the wildest ride you'll ever witness? It's all of the above, and it's about to go down. NASCAR. Any questions? The Daytona 500, Sunday, 2:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox.
Kyle Larson is your 2021 NASCAR Cup Series champion.
This is Kyle Larson on your 24/7 home for NASCAR. Sirius XM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Back here at the World Center of Racing as there will be 57 laps to go next time by. Trucks that stayed on the racetrack through that cycle. Brett Holmes will inherit the race lead. Johnny Sauter will go to the second spot. Bailey Curry will go to third. Stuart Friesen being posted in the fourth position. And Jack Wood will be rounding out the top five.
Before we go back into the green flag, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Motor Racing Network.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on Sirius XM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Tonight, it is the season opener for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, working lap number 43 with Brett Holmes out front at the moment. Again, under caution, Johnny Sauter, Bailey Curry, Stuart Friesen, and Jack Wood, your top five, shuffled up because some came to pit road and others did not. Jeff Striegel alongside Alex Hayden and NASCAR Xfinity Series champion Cole Custer joining us up here in the broadcast booth. Out in the turns, turn 2, Dave Moody. End of the back straightaway, Mike Bagley. Turn 4, Dylan Welch. And on pit road, and Alex, man, have they been busy. You got Steve Post, Jason Toy, and Kim Kuhn.
They have been indeed, and pit lane was busy a moment ago. And a penalty is going to be handed out to Ty Majeski. He'll drop to the tail end of the field for this restart. Had a pit crew member go over the wall too soon, so he'll fall back in that gold and black entry to the tail end of the field.
By the way, don't forget that when we are done here, we are not officially done. We have the ARCA Menard Series event coming up right after this. It was scheduled for tomorrow. They have moved that event to tonight due to the anticipated weather issue that we may have here. So when we're done racing with trucks, the ARCA Menard Series will race under the lights on a Friday night. 40 cars in all, ready to do battle.
In the Hard Rock Bet 200, and first-time pole winner in the ARCA Menard Series, Willie Mullins grabbed the pole position in qualifying today. An outstanding young man, outstanding family. They've been in racing a long time. The veterans of racing at Dominion Speedway in Virginia. Also Larry King Law's Langley Speedway there outside of Hampton in the Norfolk area. So Willie Mullins will lead the field of the green flag in the Hard Rock Bet bet 200.
Tim Richmond's going to start alongside. First time he's ever been on the front row. So that's a good one. Don't go anywhere. Brett Holmes, Johnny Sauter, ready to go. Back under the green flag, lap 44.
And we go under it, and immediately Brett Holmes will get a shot in the tailgate, courtesy of Tanner Gray. That'll propel him to the lead, and then he's going to abandon the outside lane.
Yeah, Holmes may be too far out for his own good right now because they're gonna get a run at him. Here comes Johnny Sauter. He's got drafting help from behind. Comes right up onto the back bumper, the Brett Holmes machine. Holmes, though, will lead off two.
The rest of the pack eases in on the tailgate of Brett Holmes. Holmes down to the inside. Johnny Sauter has arrived on the scene, and so has the outside line, led by Tanner Gray. Tanner to the lead in 3.
Out front all by himself as he tries to work the middle lane. Now moves back to the outside lane and looking to guard the bottom lane as well. Gray out front by himself. Holmes leads the bottom lane.
Tanner Gray from the top to the bottom, back to the top, trying to make sure that nobody advances. He's going to lead him here at lap 45. Tanner Gray leads at Daytona side by side, right behind Chase Purdy and Brett Holmes.
Purdy trying to roll that outside lane now, and he will get the block thrown in front of him, but Tanner Gray can't block them both. It opens up the bottom of the racetrack. Here comes Brett Holmes. He wants the lead with drafting help from Johnny Sauter.
He's going to get that lead coming out of turn number 2, at least for just a moment. Half a truck out in front as they race their way up the Daytona super stretch. On the bottom of the racetrack, Brett Holmes, Johnny Sauter. They'll break away in 1 and 2.
Sauter gives Holmes a big shove, and he brings one of the Nice racing trucks with him as well. That's Bailey Curry. 3-truck breakaway at the front of the field. Make it 4 as the inside lane charger.
Right on the bottom of the racetrack. Here they come back to the start-finish line at the front of the outside lane, getting rooted up the top of the racetrack is Tanner Gray.
Off turn 4. One truck spinning onto the infield grass. It made contact with the outside wall, it sounds like, and trying to get the glasses on exactly who it is. It may be Tony Breidinger. Either way, one truck spins to a stop in the infield.
That is Keith McGee that has come to a stop in the infield. Nose of that truck all shoved in after making contact with the wall, putting us under the caution flag for the 6th time. It flies on lap number 46. Dylan, single truck incident as far as you could tell off of turn 4?
Well, I heard what sounded like wall contact because the truck crashed on the straightaway and then spun into the infield. So not sure if there was some sort of mechanical problem that got that Keith McGee truck out of shape, but no other trucks involved from the looks of it or from the sounds of it over here off turn 4.
Yeah, that's a good thing there, but boy, did he ever take a pretty good shot. It looked like a flush shot with the nose of that truck up against the safer barrier. He was well behind the pack, so not sure if it was damage from a prior crash. He was part of the initial crash, that big one on the Daytona Superstretch back on lap number 5. So tough break for Keith McGee. Had been making his home out in Alaska. He, if I'm not mistaken, was a United States Air Force veteran, got stationed up there in Alaska, decided, you know what, I'm going to get out of the Air Force. I want to go racing some way, somehow, be able to put together his own race team and come out and run a handful of races for the last couple of years, just as a part-time schedule in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
And he put us under the caution flag, lap 47, Keith McGee did. Brett Holmes, Johnny Sauter. As we look at the top 10, and again, under caution, Holmes, Sauter, Bailey Curry, Stuart Friesen and Jack Wood, top 10. Taylor Gray, 6th. Matt Crafton, 7th. Christian Eckes, 8th. 9th, Chase Purdy. And 10th at the moment, under caution, Tyler Ankrum.
Florida is big, especially when it comes to agriculture. Did you know that Florida has 48,000 farms that cover 9.5 million acres? And thanks to our warm climate, our growing season is 365 days a year. That means you can always find fresh, locally grown food. Just look for the Fresh from Florida logo where you shop. And to see what's in season, find recipes, learn about Florida farmers, and more, join the club for free at freshfromflorida.com/register.
Craftsman is back on track with Deal of the Race. During this year's Craftsman Truck Series, we're giving race fans rockin' deals on tools. Take advantage of this Craftsman deal and get 33% off the 61-piece low-profile ratchet, 3/8-inch drive mechanics tool set. Do it fast. Do it proud. Do it with Craftsman. Current offer available through April 30th, 2024 at Lowe's and Ace Hardware in-store and online. Restrictions apply. See craftsman.com/deal of the race for details.
Working caution lap number 25. We've currently run 48 total laps. Brett Holmes right now is at the front of the field. He's there in front of Johnny Sauter from Daytona International Speedway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
You got a dead body, Inspector.
I may be able to help with that.
This winter, all your favourite detectives are streaming on BritBox. Don't miss exclusive new seasons of Death in Paradise.
There must be something we've missed.
Vera.
It wasn't an accident, was it, love?
Father Brown.
What did he look like?
And more. Once you start investigating, you won't want to stop.
We're done when I say we're done.
Stream your favourite detectives, only on BritBox. Start a free trial at BritBox.com.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hey guys, this is NASCAR driver Corey LaJoy. For the first time ever, you'll be able to hear my podcast, Stacking Pennies, right here on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 9 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Brett Holmes, Johnny Sauter, Bailey Curry, Stuart Friesen, Jack Wood, top 5. Welcome back. Daytona trucks. It's what we expect, or is it, Cole Custer? Season opener. Everybody wants to win here. That's a given. Everybody's excited about what they have, but at the same time, there's a point where aggressive just becomes, I guess, the norm, and that's why we've run 26 laps so far under the caution flag.
Yeah, look, it was a long offseason. You got 3 months out of the truck. And you got a lot of these guys who are young guys, don't have a ton of experience, and they're out there to go try and win. And some of their moves, are super aggressive and don't pan out sometimes. But that's what you have when younger guys are trying to be aggressive and try and win races. So we'll see. We'll see if these guys can calm it down a little bit. But it's interesting, the strategy right now. You have a lot of guys who are trying to set themselves up to be up at the front for this green, if they make a green flag pit stop here. And I think there's a lot of guys like Johnny Sauter whose experience is really going to come in hand.
Well, Steve Post, there's a couple of guys that are on pit lane right now in front of you.
Yeah, topping the fuel off, Corey LaJoy, the blue-green vacation Chevy from Spire Motorsports was in. Also, Nick Sanchez brought his truck in, just topping it off with fuel. They cannot make it to the end, but what this might mean is a little bit shorter pit stop when that fuel window to the end of the race does open up.
And the end of the race, by the way, is now 50 laps away. Next time by, 50 in, 50 to go. It's been a marathon through the first 50. Let's see if we can put them under green and stay under green for the final 50 laps. Coming up on Sunday, Alex Hayden, 1:30 Eastern Time, live flag-to-flag coverage of the 66th running of the Great American Race.
Can't wait for that. Joey Logano on pole position. Michael McDowell on the outside of the front row. If it's anything like what we've seen in the Blue-Green Vacation dual races last night, it's going to be a thriller yet again here at Daytona like it always is.
Cole Custer is going to be taking the green flag here tomorrow, assuming we can get a weather break. You had a chance to get out and shake the car down a little bit today. I know you're excited to get back behind the wheel and defend your championship. What are you guys thinking and planning and scheming going into tomorrow?
Well, I think at the end of the day, for me personally, I want to go out there and have a solid day. I want to be there running at the end of the race. So I think what you have to do is you got to be smart the first couple of stages. Take what it gives you. If you have a good shot at stage points and winning the stage, go for it. But if not, man, I want to be there racing at the end. I don't want to be wrecked early. So if we can get out of here with a solid finish and have a shot at winning this thing at the end, that's all we can ask for at this race.
Practice went well for you, but you did have a moment out there. How's the race car?
Yeah, so, we had a really fast Haas Animation Mustang. But unfortunately, when we were actually just doing our cool-down lap, somebody exploded a brake rotor, and we hit the brake rotor on the track, so we got to replace our splitter, which isn't the end of the world. Our guys did a great job patching that up, and I feel like we'll have just as good of a car tomorrow. So we'll see what we got, and hopefully we're running at the end.
When you are running at the end, so everybody has a differing opinion We heard it during media day. Some people want to be out front. Some people want to be second. Some people elect and raise their hand and say, I want to be third. Off 4, coming back to the checkered flag. Where do you want to be lined up if you can?
Man, that's such a tough call, but I think more so recently, you really want to be up near the front, and I would say leading the race. You know, you can control a lot, blocking the different lanes when you're leading, but also if it's a really big pack, it could be good to be second, so you can make that move and get that run from the cars behind you. But man, it's such a toss-up right now. It's so circumstantial with speedway racing. You really have to just take it as it comes with you.
That's Cole Custer. He will be racing, if weather will cooperate, tomorrow right here at Daytona. Big hello to all of the race fans around the country that have been waiting for Daytona all winter long. NASCAR is back. That's official, and we're kicking things off here in Daytona in a big way tonight. It's been halting from time to time. 28 laps under the caution flag as we get ready to work lap number 51. So again, we are halfway home. 50 in, 50 to go, now 49 to go when we put them back under the green flag. They're making their way back to a Geico restart zone as we get set to go. Up front, Alex Hayden, Brett Holmes, Johnny Sauter. Behind them, Bailey Curry, Stuart Friesen, Jack Wood, and Taylor Gray.
On the gas and through the gearbox they go. Green flag goes in the air. 2 by 2. They thunder off to turn number 1, wheel to wheel. Nobody with a distinct advantage.
Johnny Sauter now will begin to get a little bit of an edge down on that inside line. He pulls away to a truck length lead. The battle now is for second. Bailey Curry's got the inside line of the racetrack. He's going to try and follow his teammate, Johnny Sauter.
Sauter had gotten out to about a 3 truck length lead, but now the field will gobble him up on the back straightaway. They have arrived at his back bumper. Question is, can they get around it? On the outside, Brett Holmes is going to give it a shot, side by side for the lead.
Holmes has got help from Jack Wood in that outside lane. Sauter has help from Bailey Curry in the bottom lane. Side by side, 10 rows deep.
Taylor Gray back there also working that outside lane. Dead heat, as always, when we're under the green flag at Daytona. At the line, by inches. Give it to Johnny Sauter, battling with Brett Holmes. And, Dave, it's not over.
Both of them have got drafting help about 6, maybe 7 rows deep. There's a third lane beginning up high, and to the surprise of absolutely no one, it's comprised of Corey LaJoie and Ben Rhodes.
Those two are up to the 7th row. 3 wide action halfway up the back straightaway here at Daytona International Speedway. Brett Holmes out with the lead. Here comes Johnny Sauter with a run down low. Holmes will throw the block.
Boy, that third lane is moving. They're inside the top 5 already. LaJoie 3 wide with Bailey Curry, Johnny Sauter, and LaJoie in that outside lane. Here they come looking for second.
Oh, it's going to get twitchy off turn 4. Everybody keeps them pointed in the right direction. 3 wide for 5, now 6 rows deep at the start-finish line. Up front, Brett Holmes continues to ride at the bottom of the racetrack, trying to keep the field at bay.
Second and third lanes are all formulated up high. Corey LaJoie to the outside. Here he comes. He wants a piece of the lead. LaJoie stampeding that extreme high line for the number 1 position.
Everybody holding their breath here at Daytona, hoping this pack stays intact. Corey LaJoie wants to keep the lead. He's been forced to the middle. He can't do it. Holmes will lead down low. Sauter behind him. Here comes Ben Rhodes to the outside.
And the LaJoie truck is backsliding. He's stuck in the middle as they try to get back to 2 wide, a little bit deeper in the field. For now, it's 1, 2, 3, single file on the bottom.
Boy, 3 wide, 5 deep. Here they come, racing back off the banking in turn 4 through the tri-oval. Top 5 nose to tailgate. Dave, behind that, it's a hornet's nest.
It's an absolute hornet's nest. Nobody has the amount of racing room they'd like to have at this point. Ben Rhodes leads that second lane. He is side by side in a battle for 5th, not making any ground. As a matter of fact, he's going to lose his spot to Corey LaJoie.
Now the front 5 will fall into single file, bottom of the racetrack against the double yellow line. Stacked up from 6th on back. Double wide, no 3 wide action this time through.
LaJoie has got help from Grant Enfinger as that battle battle for the 6th spot. Now goes to single file. LaJoie at the back of the single file train around the bottom, led by Brett Holmes.
55 down, 45 laps to go here tonight at Daytona. They come racing back to the line with Brett Holmes out front, followed by Johnny Sauter, Bailey Curry, Taylor Gray, and Jack Wood. That is your top 5. Corey LaJoie, Grant Enfinger, Ben Rhodes, Stuart Friesen, Nick Sanchez. That is your top 10. What a night it's been so far, Alex Hayden.
In the Fresh from Florida 250 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Privileged to welcome Fresh from Florida's executive chef and culinary ambassador, Chef Justin Timoneri. Welcome to the broadcast booth. You've been up here a handful of laps now, and you're pumping your fist, you're smiling. And welcome to Daytona. Welcome to the broadcast.
Oh, man, what an incredible opportunity. I want to thank you guys for having me up here. Fresh from Florida 250. Doesn't get any better than this.
So what is Fresh from Florida, and how do you guys help Florida's not only fishermen but farmers?
That's right. We're here to support Florida's hardworking fishermen, ranchers, and make sure that we have all this wonderful supply of safe, healthy, and delicious food here in the state of Florida that feeds all of us and goes all over the country. So that's real food security.
That's important, too, because right now in the throngs of winter, the majority of the countries, well, they're bundled up right now. But here in Florida, this is prime growing season.
That's exactly right. The rest of the country is cold. We are growing and putting out so much good things. Citrus in right now. It's peak season for Florida strawberries. They are ripe and delicious.
Oh, trouble off turn 4. Brett Holmes, race leader, around, as is Bailey Curry. Both spinning to the inside. Curry slaps the wall with the left side of the race truck. It looks like Holmes was able to keep it off the wall. They were 3 wide, about 5 rows deep in turn 4, and calamity ensues off the exit of the corner.
Boy, how that turned out to be only 2 trucks involved and not 22 is amazing. Bailey Curry inching his way down pit road, and Brett Holmes, who happened to be at the front of the field, no longer. So right now under caution, by the way, for the 7th time, lap 57, top 5 under caution. Johnny Sauter, Grant Enfinger, Ben Rhodes, Nick Sanchez, Taylor Gray.
Visiting with Chef Justin Timoneri, Fresh from Florida's executive chef, culinary ambassador. What is your role?
Yeah, so my role is to simply get Floridians and Americans in general to understand what's growing when, and then how to simply incorporate that into our diets, right? We're not doing complicated stuff. These are simple, family-friendly recipes that anybody can cook at home. So go to freshfromflorida.com so you can check out our amazing recipes and what we grow here in the state.
I see your hat. I see a watermelon on there. Do you have a favorite in NASCAR
racing? Let's go.
Thank you so much, not only to you for coming up and visiting with us.
Thank you guys so much. Always a pleasure. Don't forget, eat fresh from Florida.
Chef Justin Timoneri, culinary ambassador.
That is called passion and enthusiasm. Welcome. Have a great night. Under caution, 58 complete. Johnny Sauter, Grant Enfinger, Ben Rhodes, Taylor Gray, Jack Wood, top 5. Then it's Nick Sanchez, 6th. Daniel Dye has rallied back to 7th after a slow stop earlier. Corey LaJoie got shuffled on a line going up the banking in turn 3. He fell back in line in 8th in front of Stuart Friesen and Chase Purdy. So that is your top 5. Let's get an update. Brett Holmes is sitting in front of Kim Kuhn.
Yeah, and he had been leading until that incident. Both right side tires down. They had to lift up that Chevrolet to get the jack up under it. They will change all 4 tires. They'll also make sure that the fender braces aren't broken. Put Sunoco fuel in that machine. Otherwise, the truck does look pretty good. No major damage for Brett Holmes.
The pride of Munford, Alabama, still sits on the pit lane in his green and white Chevrolet family-owned team as we work under the caution flag with 41 laps to go.
The NASCAR season is here, and Toyota Racing is looking for clashers. Did you clash at the Coliseum with your favorite Toyota drivers? Clashing with the HOA, who won't let you carve bell number 20 into your lawn? Or maybe your Tyler Reddick shirt clashed with your pants while meeting the in-laws? If you're a clasher, then we want you. Be part of the action at toyota.com/racing. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark of National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, Inc.
was a season when NASCAR created the playoffs.
There's so much going on behind the scenes in 04.
A season with extreme emotion.
This has got to be the greatest day of my life.
And the fight is on in the pit area.
We dodged a huge, devastating proposition that would have taken us out of this championship.
NASCAR Live presents 2004 Chasing History.
Somebody will look at a yardstick of our history, and 2004 is going to be on there.
Available Monday at MRN.com and wherever you download your podcasts.
Lap 59, pit lanes open. Steve Post, it's a busy place.
Yes, it is. Nick Sanchez was in. Corey LaJoie was in. Dean Thompson is in. They're all just topping it off with Sunoco racing fuel. We're 41 laps from the end. The fuel window is upward close to 37, 38 laps. That's green flag laps. The feel of this one is that we haven't had much green flag racing at all, and these teams are now hoping that they got it full of fuel and going to make it all the way to the end. Jason?
Tyler Ankrum came in long enough to take some fuel. They could change right side tires. That's what they did for him in the Chevrolet. Also, Chase Purdy was in. We saw other drivers making their way, including Johnny Sauter on a stop down here in pit lane. We do have a couple of drivers that are talking about when they get that one to go, they're going to come down, and there's very few that stayed out.
All right, well,
Stuart Friesen just now leaving pit road. Also had Jack Wood on the pit lane, Matt Kraft and Raja Carew taking tires as well as fuel. Interesting, Ben Rhodes saw all those trucks peel off the racetrack, and he radioed to his crew. He said, I didn't hear a call. I assume that means you wanted me to stay out. They said, yes, we're still outside that fuel window. You made the right call staying out.
And we'll recap it for you when we come back as we work under the caution flag from Daytona International Speedway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
37,000, 25, 1. These are the three numbers to remember to get the visibility and control you need to make the right business decisions instantly. 37,000. That's the number of businesses which have upgraded to NetSuite by Oracle. NetSuite is the #1 cloud financial system, streamlining accounting, financial management, inventory, HR, and more. 25. NetSuite turns 25 this year. That's 25 years of helping businesses do more with less, close their books in days, not weeks, and drive down expenses. 1. Because your business is one of a kind. So you get a customized solution for all of your KPIs in one efficient system with one source of truth. Manage risk, get reliable forecasts, and improve margins. NetSuite is everything you need to grow, all in one place. Right now, download NetSuite's popular KPI checklist, designed to give you consistently excellent performance for free at netsuite.com/markets. That's netsuite.com/markets to get your own KPI checklist. netsuite.com/markets.
Tyler Reddick, though, he's going after the race lead.
Hey, it's Tyler Reddick. Catch SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Live or stream your favorite shows anytime on demand with the SiriusXM app.
Working under the caution flag, but we're ready to put it away and get the green flag back out. And when it does, it'll be lap number 61. Getting ready for a Geico restart presented by Geico. Is your insurance playbook confusing? Make it easy. Switch to Geico and get all of your insurance coverage from one place. Go to geico.com today to get started.
See, 60 laps are complete, 40 to go. Cole Custer, we've seen all kinds of action. We've seen a couple of wrecks. We've seen fierce racing, some hold-your-breath moments, and we still got 40 laps to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to get even more crazy now because now you have people. It's all the marbles are on the table. It's for the win now. People are going to be pushing, shoving, doing everything they can to try and win at Daytona. You know, the guys who were riding a little bit the first two stages, there is no riding anymore. You got to go out there. You got to push and shove to try and go win. And I think what you've seen now, too, is a lot of these crew chiefs, what they've done to try and position themselves to the front, short pit different stages. You're seeing a lot of guys get to the front now and really be able to get their best shot at a win.
Alex, did he just say they're going to start pushing and shoving? Did he say start?
Yeah, I believe he did.
What have they been doing for the previous 60 laps? That's just warming up, right,
That's
Cole?
That's just a warm-up. Yeah, we're not even ready. We haven't even started yet.
Put the gloves on. Get ready. It's going to be fun. Again, glad to have all of you joining us tonight on the Motor Racing Network. Glad to have you with us. Jeff Striegel alongside Alex Hayden and Cole Custer out in the turns, getting ready to go. Dave Moody, Mike Bagley, and Dylan Welch. Up and down pit road, Steve Post, Jason Toy, and Kim Kuhn.
Here we go. Wait for the pace truck to make the left turn, get off the track into the pit lane, back to the Geico restart, and the green flag will go back in the air. 39 laps to go. On the inside lane, it's Nick Sanchez. Working to his outside is Johnny Sauter. Wheel to wheel, but the inside lane will get an advance, and Sanchez by a fender leads to 1.
Sanchez has got the advantage into turn number 1 by about a truck length now. Johnny Sauter trying to rally the troops up high, but he's not got much momentum. As a matter of fact, Matt Crafton's going to drive under him. Move Crafton to the number 3 spot.
Leaders to the back straightaway. Nick Sanchez is the head maestro for the first time of the night. He is controlling the field, that is. He's got Taylor Gray behind him. Matt Crafton as well. They're side by side on from there on back.
Now, Taylor Gray was trying to control that back bumper of Sanchez into turn number 3. They separate a little bit. It's a 1 through 3 breakaway, and they're side by side for 4.
Boy, you get back there, and Johnny Sauter is working that outside lane. Right behind him is Daniel Dye, then Corey LaJoy. And Dave, you got to think that this is the time, the opportunity that Daniel Dye needs to learn how to bump draft and take Johnny to the front.
Yeah, that young man is going to go to Super Speedway College here in the next couple of laps. If he can hang on to Johnny Sauter, and if he can stand the help he's getting from behind from Corey LaJoy.
Just outside the top 10, here's Ben Rose. He's going to step out, go 3 wide up against the outside wall, midway down the back straightaway. That third lane has got momentum, but now it'll stall out at the entrance of 3.
Rhodes, not a ton of help. 2 or 3 trucks lined up there in that outside lane. They're getting progress made up to about the 8th or 9th spot as they work the back off.
Meanwhile, at the front of the field, they're going to go wheel to wheel yet again as they make their way down to the tri-oval. Down at the inside of the racetrack, it's still Nick Sanchez. He'll hang on to the top spot. Taylor Gray is there. He'll go to the inside of Johnny Sauter for the number 2 position.
That's the battle for second. Taylor Gray to the inside line. Johnny Sauter in the high lane or the middle lane right now because, as we mentioned, Ben Rhodes still trying to work that extreme high groove 3 wide.
They are leaning on each other for second. They're 3 wide for 4th. A mad scramble down the back straightaway. Ben Rhodes making progress. Lane 3 in full effect. 3 wide for second.
Here they come. Ben Rhodes with help from Christian Eckes in the very high lane up near the outside safer barrier. Got to second, then lost a little bit of his help. They're 3 wide behind him and side by side for the lead.
Boy, that outside lane is rolling, and here they come, and they will lead this time across the line. Ben Rhodes back out front, courtesy of Christian Eckes, who shoved them all the way to the top spot.
The 2-time and defending Craftsman Truck Series champion Ben Rhodes let it ride on the outside, took it all the way to the lead. Now he's going to drop down into the low lane, or is he? No, he'll go middle of the racetrack. That leaves the bottom wide open. Underneath him comes Nick Sanchez.
He will take advantage of that move, Nick Sanchez will. He'll power to the bottom of the racetrack, but the inside line gets the advantage. Rhodes with a draft from Christian Eckes. They will break free in first and second.
Those two working really well together. 3 wide behind those top 2. Nick Sanchez and Taylor Gray on the inside lane. They'll go ahead and single out 1 through 4 now.
Got to be careful not to get too far out in front of the rest of the draft or you'll slow down. Here they come back to the line. The the 2 trucks that were at the front of the field, Ben Rhodes and Christian Eckes, Dave, they've elected now to go to the bottom of the racetrack.
They are on the bottom. Going to take the short way. Let's see if anybody else is going to drive around them on the outside. For the moment, at least, it'll stay single file.
And the pack finally exhales coming off turn number 2. 4-truck breakaway up front. Race leader right now is Ben Rhodes. Christian Eckes. You've also got Nick Sanchez, Taylor Gray in that 4-truck breakaway.
And Corey LaJoy leading the next batch of race trucks, which has single filed out now all the way just about to the top 10. First side-by-side battle is Matt Crafton inside Tyler Ankrum.
34 laps to go. Here's a quick look at the top 10 as they come flashing by the line. It's Ben Rhodes out front. Christian Eckes is locked to his tailgate. Nick Sanchez, Taylor Gray, Corey LaJoy top 5. Daniel Dye, Johnny Sauter, Matt Crafton, Tanner Gray, Tyler Ankrum top 10. Cole Custer, what are you watching?
Man, I mean, I think everybody's getting aggressive here, but they're also waiting for the perfect time to pounce. You know, the top lane fell apart a little bit there. Who's going to take that jump, a leap of faith into the top lane and really pull that lane forward? Because if you can, that's your ticket to the front of the pack.
but you got to be careful because somebody will see that run coming, will put the block on, and you better be hoping that the truck behind you is paying close attention. Off turn 4 they come yet again. 33 laps to go this time by. The majority of the field is in a draft, nose to tailgate at the bottom of the racetrack. However, for the number 5 spot, Johnny Sauter and a handful of other trucks continue to work.
Well, we all know Johnny Sauter, and there's never been a lick of quit in his game plan. He has gotten shuffled back just outside the top 5, but he's rallying that middle lane for a comeback.
Cole just asked which driver's going to jump to the outside line and drag it forward. The answer is Johnny Sauter. He'll jump up in front of Tyler Ankrum. He is up to position number 3, although Nick Sanchez has something to say about that.
Sauter charging here on the entry to turn 3. Tyler Ankrum behind him as they work into the banking of 3. Chase Purdy there as well. They're making progress up to 3rd.
Yeah, top 2, nose to tailgate. Battle for 3rd is side by side, so that outside lane beginning to propel its way to the front. And Dave, no surprise who's leading that outside lane. He's a 3-time winner here. His name is Johnny Sauter.
He knows the way to victory lane here at the World Center of Racing. Doesn't really matter which lane you leave him. He'll take it, and he'll beat you with it. Oh, near contact. He and Rhodes get together. Sauter up the racetrack, but hangs on to it.
And Sauter has pulled that outside lineup into a battle for the lead. Here comes Johnny Sauter right up the middle of the racetrack. Fender out in front. Ben Rhodes gets a shove from Eckes. They're still wheel to wheel.
Everybody pushing and shoving into the banking at 3. Christian Eckes trying to push the inside lane, led by Ben Rhodes back to the front. He'll do so. Rhodes in control. Eckes and Sauter side by side.
Not a whole lot of wiggle room from the bottom of the racetrack because to the right, there is a whole line of more trucks lined up right there. Lap number 69 goes on the board. Johnny Sauter to the top of the leaderboard. Contact for the number 2 spot. They get away with it, headed to 1.
Boy, they are racing very aggressively for 2nd, 3rd, 4th position. Ben Rhodes has got the 2 position, closes in once again on the back bumper of Johnny Sauter.
Jack Sauter up now coming out of the corners. Johnny Sauter had to hang on to that truck. Ben Rhodes just shoving him off the corner. They will separate bumpers. Sauter with a half truck length of advantage. It's Rhodes to 2nd, and here comes Ankrum to the outside.
He's leading that outside lane with help from Chase Purdy. Dean Thompson in there as well. Inside lane, Ben Rhodes and Christian Eckes with Sauter still out front.
Boy, 30 laps to go. Somebody had to bail out of the pack, and they are headed to pit road. We'll see if we can get a look at it, Alex Hayden, but somebody bailed right from the very top of the thing. It's Ben Rhodes. Kim Kuhn, this has got to be unscheduled.
And I believe he had a tire going down. I clicked onto their radio and heard tire, tire, tire. The crew on the right side right now, they will take off both tires. Right now, the crew is looking up under the right front, kind of pulling out the fender. They will actually put just right side tires on, so a tire issue for Ben Rhodes.
Yeah, he would believe was the one that got door slammed on the short straightaway at the exit of the tri-oval. Key now is he's got no drafting help whatsoever. Ben Rhodes at 55 miles an hour. Jeff's trying to get off the pit lane because the field is rumbling off turn 4.
Yeah, you better hurry because they're running 189 last lap, and they are running right together. We've got a new leader at Daytona. Chase Purdy working the inside lane, clipped the timing line in position number 1, Dave.
Chase Purdy's been very quiet, very methodical, just slowly but surely making his way to the front as Ben Rhodes makes his way off turn 2 down the back straightaway. Here comes the pack trying to chase him down.
Tipping the cap to Tyler Ankrum. Last time up the back straightaway, Chase Purdy gave him a bump that went wrong. Ankrum got sideways, rooted him out of the lane, and Chase Purdy now will go to the lead at Daytona.
We've about had a wreck the last 2 laps off turn 4. See if everybody can keep it going straight this time. Chase Purdy in control, leading the inside lane over Nick Sanchez. Christian Eckes controlling the outside.
Off turn number 4, Eckes on the outside lane will surge ahead. Christian Eckes will grab the race lead. He's going to bail on the outside lane and go to the bottom. Pushing him to the lead was Corey LaJoie. There was enough space for LaJoie to go downstairs.
LaJoie will dive to the bottom as well. That leaves the top 3 all in the low line as they make their way now. Off turn number 2, closing in on the soon-to-be lap truck of Ben Rhodes.
Ben Rhodes is on the inside line right in front of the leaders, and they are catching him quickly. Rhodes is staying right down there. The leaders are going to have a choice to make. Eckes bearing down. The whole field bearing down. Rhodes goes to the top, and they split him in 3.
Oh, boy, that is dangerous, but everybody going to go high and low, and Rhodes should be safe, but he'll fall to the back of this lead draft. It's slow. No, they're not safe. Rhodes spins. He gets collected led by Tony Breidinger, it looked like, who maybe went on the apron to avoid him. Rhodes does a 360 and another 360 as the pack scatters off turn 4. Nobody hits him, and Rhodes escapes with just another spin and maybe some flat tires as he tries to right that Ford F-150 and get back to pit road.
Lap 73 under caution, 8th time. It broke out over in front of you, Dylan. Ben Rhodes, and I thought what Mike said worked perfectly. They just split him. You had the inside lane flying by, the outside lane flying by. It looked like just about everybody was prepared to clear Ben Rhodes. Well, not so fast. Fill us in, Dylan.
Well, and it looked like maybe Rhodes either tried to get down or somebody else just clipped him in the process of going by him, and he got sideways, and then everybody scattered. Trucks on the apron, trucks up on the outside. Don't think anybody else made any wall contact or even contact with Ben as he spun, because there was about 15 trucks or so that had to get on the brakes and try and figure out where that truck was going to pirouette out of control to. So good job of everybody missing that one in the back half of the field, but it's gone from bad to worse for Rhodes.
It has indeed. Now, Kim Coon's in the pit. Kim had the unscheduled stop for the flat tire. Did they fix the problem with that first stop?
Well, Ben wasn't convinced that they had fixed it. Like I mentioned, they were up in the right front under the wheel well, kind of pulling out the fender because a tire rub had caused that. When Ben went back out on the racetrack, he said he could still see smoke, so he was concerned there was still a tire rub, and now the damage is a little bit of everywhere. The right side damage after contact, the left front is what they're really paying close attention to right now. The fender, they're trying to kind of cut away. It's just dented in. There's a big hole in that left front fender, so they're bringing out the bear bun. So the luck gets worse here at Daytona for Ben Rhodes.
Yeah, I think having a look at it on replay, NASCAR TV here, at the stadium, it would appear as though that tire went down again, Kim, and that was the reason. Ben did a whale of a job to try to save it with people rocketing by on either side. Unable to clip Gray, clipped Breidinger, and then around he went to put us under the caution flag. Lap 75, next time by, 25 to go.
This is Fresh from Florida Chef Justin Timoneri. Thanks for all your messages asking for new ways to enjoy fresh Florida strawberries. The great news is that Florida strawberries are a great addition to a ton of recipes, like fresh salads, sweet desserts, or even savory dishes. Don't take my word for it, try them yourself. Fresh from Florida strawberries are in season now, and using local strawberries makes all the difference. Find these recipes and many more at freshfromflorida.com. Enjoy.
Do you have an unused car, truck, motorcycle, boat, or RV taking up space? Put it to good use by donating it to the NASCAR Foundation. Proceeds help fund medical resources for children in our racing community. Your wheels can heal. Call 844-NASCAR-9 and we'll come tow away your vehicle for free. The process is quick and your gift is tax deductible. Call 844-NASCAR-9 to donate your vehicle to the NASCAR Foundation today. Your donation will help our children survive and thrive.
Well, Ben Rhodes, expected to be a factor here tonight, will not. He has climbed out of that truck. Apparently, we are hearing they actually cut the fuel line. A lot of things were breaking apart there when he cut that tire down. Unfortunately, night over for Ben Rhodes. Corey LaJoie right now is being shown as the race leader. 75 down, 25 to go. Under caution at the moment from Daytona International Speedway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Hi, I'm Joe Perillo with JoePerillo.com. We know many of you are searching for just that right pre-owned luxury vehicle. That's why I want to tell you about JoePerillo.com. At JoePerillo.com, you could browse our huge selection of luxury pre-owned vehicles. JoePerillo.com is based in Chicago, but we ship cars from all over the country. And while most of you know about our huge selection of luxury pre-owned vehicles, I'd also like to tell you about Perillo Collision. The Perillo Collision staff are trained and insured to repair Bentleys, Rolls-Royce, Lamborghinis, or any other high-end luxury vehicles. We service accidents from all over the country. Maintain your luxury vehicle's warranty with our professional team. Visit JoePerillo.com. That's JoePerillo.com. That's JoePerillo and click on Perillo Collision or call us at 312-BMW 1111. That's 312-BMW 1111. 312-BMW 1111. That's JoePerillo.com.
Hey race fans, this is Gabby Barrett on your home for NASCAR. SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Don't forget, coming up just about 30 minutes after we get done with this one, we will be going with the ARCA Menard Series. So we've got, Alex, 24 to go here. Once we're done with that, we will be just about immediately ready to go with the ARCA Menard Series. That's going to be a good one. We talked about it earlier, 40 drivers. They, too, ready to kick off their 2024 season.
Yeah, they are, and the Hard Rock Bet 200 is ready to go. We can look down into the ARCA Menard Series garage down there. Those teams have the pit boxes lined up in the chute that will come out from underneath the Rolex sign here in the opening to try to get their pits lined up and set up once this race ends. And these teams take their pit boxes down. Ready to go racing tonight, Willie Mullins and Tim Richmond on the front row for the Hard Rock Bet 200, which promises to be a good one. And there's a lot of big names in this. Shane Van Gisbergen is in the race. He'll start towards the tail end of the field. The fastest in the practice session they had yesterday was Marco Andretti, and he's ready to go racing tonight as well.
We all are. Mike Bagley, all of us will be back. Dave Moody will be here. Dylan Welch is here. All of us up and down pit road will be here. We're trying to talk Cole Custer into being here. But Mike Bagley, as soon as we're done with this one, we'll be ready to go with the ARCA Menard Series.
Indeed we will. I think you said 30 minutes once we get done. We'll put the trucks back in the truck garage. The ARCA teams will roll their cars out. Gonna have a little ARCA racing in America tonight. ARCA night in America as we continue our coverage from Speedweeks 2024.
Airtime, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It will indeed be live right here at the World Center of Racing. Field lined up 2 by 2, half a lap away from going back under the green flag. There'll be 23 circuits remaining once they get around here. And when you look at it, it's Corey LaJoie being scored the race leader before the choose, with Chase Purdy is being lined up in the second spot. How about Chase Purdy? Not really a factor and not a player in the top 5 or top 10 the first half of this race, but that Mississippian is now finding himself running in the second spot.
You don't suppose that was by design, do you, Cole? Keep the fenders on the truck, just keep it pointed in the right direction, and when we get down to it, then we'll get after it. Chase Purdy doing a nice job.
Yeah, that's how these races play out. You know, if you can really keep your truck in one piece, be there at the end, you're going to have a shot at it. At some point, if you keep all the fenders on it, you're going to have a shot to go get that checker flag at the end.
As we look over to turn number 4, pace truck now gets off the racetrack, heads back behind the wall. 23 laps to go. Corey LaJoie on the choose to the inside, and the green flag goes in the air. LaJoie has Chase Purdy on his tailgate. Outside lane led by Nick Sanchez. He has got a tailgate full of Christian Eckes.
And that's going to make a side-by-side battle for the number 1 position as they make their way into turn number 1. On the outside lane, Sanchez is going to get the advantage. As a matter of fact, Corey LaJoie is going to drop back to second, to third. He's side-by-side in a battle now for 4.
Inside lane did not come up to speed. Corey LaJoie is now 4th in line on the bottom because the front 3 are from the outside that swung down to the inside lane, led by Nick Sanchez.
They work back into turn number 3. Eckes in second, Taylor Gray third. Inside lane in that 4th on back pack has reeled in the top 3. LaJoie with help from Chase Purdy.
Make no mistake about it, I think every driver in the field would like to look in the rear-view mirror and find Christian Eckes there. He has shoved Nick Sanchez, Dave, like he's done countless times. This time it's Sanchez to the lead.
Yeah, he has indeed been the ultimate drafting partner so far. Hasn't had much time at the front of the pack, but he's been a very good second. The battle shaping up now for the lead, climbing up on the back bumper. Here comes Taylor Gray.
Taylor Gray comes charging up the inside. Right now in position number 2. 2-truck breakaway, side by side from third on back. The outside line, here it comes, led by Christian Eckes.
Good momentum and a good push from Corey LaJoie has Christian Eckes side by side with Taylor Gray for second. Sanchez still the leader, in control off 4.
Sanchez is going to keep, trouble off turn 4. Eckes got a bump draft, I believe, from Corey LaJoie, sent him to the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to collect a handful of other trucks as a lot of trucks now bail and go down to the bottom. Stephen Parsons gets a big chunk of this. The right front corner of his truck has been knocked off as trucks begin to slide and spin, and caution is back on the speedway now for the 9th time.
It comes out on lap number 79. Nick Sanchez across the line as the race leader. Taylor Gray, Corey LaJoie, Chase Purdy, and Tyler Ankrum Top 5 under caution, 9th time, 80 down, next time to go. Johnny Sauter's truck, as good as that truck is, used up, and he's in front of Jason Toy.
Yeah, the big concern, Jeff, is the hood is broke away. The only thing that's holding the hood on right now are the tethers, the safety tethers that keep it from flying off. They're going to have to do a lot of bare bond on there to try to make it work. They're going to go ahead and change 4 of those Goodyear Racing Eagles here. They were all flat. They're going to put a little bit of fuel in. But they got to do right now is try to get that hood back secured, back down on this race truck for Johnny Sauter. He says it's still pretty straight when it comes to the alignment, but the problem is it's going to be that hood in the aero.
Christian Eckes is also on the pit lane.
Yeah, and the crew just said, grab a saw. That's never a good thing. A lot of damage on the left side of the left rear of the truck. They're asking for a little bit more room around the left rear tire on the Napa Chevy, but fair amount of damage there. And when you have to bring out the saws, that's not a good situation here for Christian Eckes. Had such a strong run, and first truck to go around over there off from turn number 4.
80 laps complete, 20 to go. Cole Custer. It looked like a simple situation of bump draft gone wrong.
Yeah, and I mean, it was a little bit of a bump draft gone wrong, but you could see Corey LaJoie was giving the push there, and he was trying to be as gentle as you can be, trying to make his line go forward, trying to push Christian Eckes, but even that little tiny push got him out of control and wrecking into the bottom lane. So it's just little tap can just send these trucks going sideways, and it's just a testament to how out of control these things really are. The drivers, I mean, they are aggressive, but these trucks are absolutely out of control in the draft.
Bailey Curry gets the free pass. He'll get a lap back and get back on the lead lap, with Nick Sanchez being scored the race leader.
Discover new opportunities together in a new Chevy. Meet up in an Equinox, winner of the J.D. Power Award for initial quality among compact SUVs. Lend a hand in the strong and capable Silverado. Or mix it up in a high-tech Trax with an available 11-inch diagonal touchscreen. Find family, friends, and fun in the Chevy that's right for you. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. For J.D. Power 2023 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Are you ready to go back to the summer of '99? Creed is back. Summer of '99 tour. For the first time in more than a decade, with very special guests on select dates, 3 doors down. Gosling, Switchfoot, Tommy, Big Wreck, and Finger 11. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Creed, Summer of '99 tour.
Under caution for the 9th time here at Daytona with 19 laps to go as we sit. The top 5 are Nick Sanchez, Taylor Gray, Corey LaJoie, Chase Purdy, and Jack Wood. From Daytona International Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Hey folks, I have great news. You can now donate your car and support Tunnel to Towers. The process is quick and simple, and the proceeds from your generous car donation will support the good work that T2T is doing throughout our community. Plus, you benefit by getting a nice tax deduction, and you avoid the hassle of trying to sell that old car. So, if you have an extra car and you want to help T2T to help our first responders and dedicated veterans, just call 888-77-HEROES. Or you can donate your car online at todaysheroes.org. That number again to donate your car and support Tunnel to Towers is 888-77-HEROES. That's 888-77-HEROES. Or simply go online at todaysheroes.org. Any car is accepted, and they'll pick it up for free. Your car donation really does make a difference. So go online at todaysheroes.org and donate your car today.
Brad Keselowski will lead lap number 1.
This is NASCAR driver Brad Keselowski on your 24/7 home for NASCAR. SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
We welcome you back to Daytona. There'll be 18 laps to go this time by under caution. We check in with Kim Kuhn at the Advent Healthcare Center.
And Alex, Ben Rhodes has just been released. We saw the original tire go down. After that, once you went back out, walk us through what happened and what ultimately took you out of the race.
Yeah, they tried to clearance it after that initial contact while leading the inside line. Tire went down. They tried to clearance it, put a new set on, and it just wasn't enough. As soon as I got on the track, it said it's 1 or 2 corners more, and it's going to go. but you don't know that for certain, so you keep going, and then eventually going into turn 3, I felt it start to let go. At that point, I was too far into the corner to get to the apron to get out of the groove, so I tried to take an audible, run straight to the wall to stay out of everybody's way. Eckes split me, and then I was stuck in the middle, so that was kind of embarrassing and definitely not ideal. I just tried to keep it to a minimum, and it was too little too late. And then, unfortunately, I did collect some people with us, but we were trying to maximize what we had, not lose any more laps, and just try to stay out there. Maybe a tire wouldn't go down, and it did at the worst point. So I feel sorry for all my competitors, and thankful for Ranch Fuel, Ford, and ThorSport Racing for everything they've done for us. Just nothing's given at Daytona. You got to earn it.
Reigning champ Ben Rhodes out for the night.
Yeah, he did a whale of a job, too, trying to save that truck up in the banking of turn number 3. It just finally turned around on him and collected a couple of trucks. By the way, the Motor Racing Network is bringing you a new podcast series. Write it down. NASCAR Live presents 2004, Chasing History. 20 years later, we revisit a season that saw Dale Jr. win his first Daytona 500 and Kurt Busch win the first chase for the championship. We spill all the stories that happened on and off the track with the people who made that season what it was. The first episode is going to be released on Monday, February 19th. Subscribe to NASCAR Live wherever you download or listen to your favorite podcast. And Alex, we know that is going to be something special.
I can't wait. I really can. It is going to be outstanding. So make sure you join everybody and download that podcast starting Monday. Now, Cole Custer, NASCAR Xfinity Series champion, sitting up here in the booth with us. We heard Ben Rhodes say something. I want to take you there as the driver. He said you knew the tire's going to go down again, maybe 2, maybe 3 more corners, but you just don't know for sure, and you got to keep going. What is that like for a race car driver at 185, 190 miles an hour around everybody else, knowing at some point the tire's going to go away?
Yeah, I mean, you're really between a rock and a hard place, right? Because at the end of the day, we're out here for our team and how to make the best finish for our team. And if you just give up because you think you have a flat tire, you could lose a lap or maybe 2, and then all of a sudden you're out of the race. And if that tire doesn't go down, you feel like a complete idiot. So you're going to run until that thing pops. And unfortunately, it popped right at the worst time for Ben Rhodes.
2 go to the inside, 2 go to the outside. What do we mean when we say that? Choose rule in play, back under the green flag in a lap. Nick Sanchez and Taylor Gray electing to work together. They go to the bottom of the racetrack. Corey LaJoie, Chase Purdy go to the top side. And now, and I will bring Mike in on this one. Now, Mike, you talk about the draft. When it works, it's magic. When it doesn't work, you fall like a rock. And right now, with this thing winding down, you better find a drafting partner, work with them, and hope you can take it all the way to the top of the leaderboard.
Well, that's the ideal world, but then there's practical reality that's setting in that these bump drafts are not as clean as they could be or should be, and there has been a level of skill that has kicked in that we haven't had more trucks wreck on the back straightaway. I mean, they are just pounding these tailgates. Drivers are getting crossed up, and these drivers are really having their hands full because of all the bump drafting going on. It's only going to get worse from here. I expect there to be more contact with the rate of the aggressiveness that we've seen here tonight.
Before we go under green, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Motor Racing Network.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Motor Racing Network live at Daytona International Speedway. It's the Fresh from Florida 250 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series and their season opener as Eric Johnson will take the pace truck to pit lane. Field comes back to the Geico restart zone.
16 laps to go, and we are back under the green flag. Nick Sanchez on the inside. Taylor Gray right behind. On the outside, Corey LaJoie. He's got drafting help from Chase Purdy.
Nobody able to get much of an advantage as they make it to the banking of turn number 1. Inside line now begins to creep away just a bit. Nick Sanchez by a car length, by 2, by 3. Outside lane dropping back again. Corey LaJoie just can't muster the speed on the restart.
4-truck breakaway down low, side by side from 5th on back. They'll be catching Matt Mills shortly, who just exited the pit lane, while everyone is trying to catch Nick Sanchez as the race leader.
Here comes this back half of this lead pack. They close back in on the top 3 by the time they get into the banking. Side-by-side battle for 4th is Brett Holmes inside of Ty Majeski.
Brett Holmes went for a spin earlier in tonight's race to bring us under a caution earlier. Now he's back inside the top 5. Pole sitter Ty Majeski also there. They'll go wheel to wheel. That's the first side-by-side battle in the draft.
Majeski so strong in the early going. He's spent the bulk of the night trying to battle his way back. He's on the cusp of the top 3, but he gets shuffled 3 wide to the outside. He's got nobody with him. Bye-bye, Ty Majeski.
Corey LaJoie is the one that put him into 3 wide territory, while at the same time, Brett Holmes jumping up in line in front of LaJoie. They lead the outside line, and they are up to position number 4.
LaJoie shoving Brett Holmes up to the right side of Rajah Caruth, and now they go 3 wide. Holmes has to bail out of that. He really didn't have an option besides getting turned there. He's going backwards as they run side by side below him. Oh, now they are wrecking off of turn number 4. Tony Breidinger involved. Another truck spins to the apron. That's Dean Thompson. Looks like he may keep it out of the wall. He gets it stopped in time, and everybody else misses him behind him, but a 2-truck collision here off the exit of 4.
Stuart Friesen able to get by. Jason White comes by. He's able to get through it. But we're back under the caution flag. 10th time here tonight. And again, that could have been bigger, working off turn number 4. They got to beating and banging, and around they went, and that will slow us back down and put us in position for about, give or take, 9-10 lap run to the checkered flag.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what we come to expect here when we race at Daytona in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. You know, when you think about that, the amount of times this series has gone to overtime here at Daytona, it's been staggering. This has been the highest amount of overtime races on the entire schedule. They've gone to overtime here 6 different times. So that is something you got to think about and you got to have in the back of your mind when it's planning. Now, Steve Post, just for purposes to document it, because we are at lap 86 and they were last on pit road, some of them around lap 59, including the race leader Nick Sanchez. Are they good on Sunoco fuel?
Yeah, they're beyond just a little bit the window of fuel for green flags. It was 37-38. We have had so many caution periods. We're not even hearing anybody talk about saving fuel anymore. At the beginning of this, when we started having those cautions, it was max save me a lap or 2. Now we are well beyond that as far as fuel mileage goes. Now, depending on how many overtimes we have, we could get back into that window. But right now, everyone's feeling good, at least to the advertised distance.
Always entertaining, always exciting, always thrilling, right down to the checkered flag. Talking about the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series tonight under the lights, Daytona. If you're just joining us, Dave Moody, you've been with us for 87 laps so far, and I know you don't have a crystal ball out there, but can you predict what it's going to take for one of these drivers to end up in victory lane?
Boy, it's really hard to tell right now. Ty Majeski's got a very good truck. Made it all the way, fought his way all the way to the front of the pack, then got hung out 3 wide all by himself and plummeted to the back again. So what he's taken the last 20 or 30 laps to do to get back into contention, he's now going to have to do it in 10 or less.
All right, well, we'll keep an eye on that. Dylan Welch has the corner that everybody wants to be leading at. Well, I guess, Dylan, some don't mind being right there in second or third. Point is, when that white flag goes in the air and they make their way back around to you, coming off of turn number 4 to the tri-oval, it is every man or woman for themselves.
Well, and I'll tell you, as aggressive and as much calamity has happened here in the last few laps, I think you want to be leading off of turn number 4 because you may not get back to the start-finish line. So if you can avoid getting run into or doored or something else and be at the front of the field, there may be a caution before you get back to the start-finish line to officially end this race. So it's going to be chaotic. It's going to be hectic. This race has proved to be entertaining, and we're not even down to really crunch time yet. So with 12 to go here, I can't imagine that we're going to calm things down anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't think so. We're going to go under caution at least a couple of more times. Keep in mind the ARCA Menard Series season opener will be run after this race in the Hard Rock Bet 200. Willie Mullins and Tim Richmond on the front row for the ARCA Menard Series opener. Our airtime here on the Motor Racing Network, and that's right, we'll cover that race live flag to flag here on the Motor Racing Network on the air, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time for that one.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. Stay with us all weekend long. And, of course, the Daytona 500. We'd like to remind everybody that our airtime is indeed 1:30. Mike Bagley is going to be ready to go. NASCAR Live race day. We'll take you all the way up to the green flag, and then we'll cut them loose for 500 miles around here. And it's always just such an amazing event. You know, there are times when you think this driver is going to go to victory lane. They've led, they've dominated, and all of a sudden they get shuffled out of line, and a new person takes to the point, and you feel like that driver is going to victory lane, and it just changes lap after lap after lap.
That's the beauty of racing at Daytona. Cole Custer, you've done it here at the World Center of Racing in a lot of different vehicles, including multiple Daytona 500s. To you, how special is this place?
I mean, it's the place every driver wants to win. Every team wants to win. When you roll in through that tunnel, this is a place that has so much history. You have a different feeling when you roll into this racetrack. And, I mean, some of it's just the spectacle of it, especially on the day of the 500. There's a concert out front. I mean, I remember my rookie year in Cup when I ran the 500. Donald Trump was here. He drove around the racetrack. It was like, man, this is insane, you know? So it's just how you calm your nerves and get back to racing, really. So it's a long race, and it's how you get there at the end.
Everybody wants to win it. Only one will. We will not go back under the green flag. One more trip around. Nick Sanchez, Steve Post at the front of the field. A talented young race car driver receiving coaching from high atop the suites up here, the spotter stand, from the crew chief. Everybody right now coaching their young driver.
Nick Sanchez doing a great job. Remember that first accident that was back 4 or 5 laps into the race off from the back straightaway, the super stretch over there. He had 3 tires down, and they came in and worked on the car. This is where veteran leadership can really, really help a young racer. And Kevin Bono Mannion, a championship-winning crew chief in the NASCAR Xfinity Series back with Martin Truex Jr., Bono Mannion calling the shots here. So Nick Sanchez is in great hands. Kevin just kept everyone calm, and here they are running at the front of the field. The damage on the truck was never bad. It was just tires down, a little bit of scuffing up of the fenders, but they've got that truck in good shape. They got some track position, and they got good leadership here with Bono Mannion calling the shots for Nick Sanchez.
As Nick Sanchez continues to be the race leader, there'll be 10 laps to go this time by. You know, Nick Sanchez, a talented young driver from Miami, Florida. On top of the roof spotting for him is a veteran spotter, Jeff, by the name of Derek Nealon.
Yeah, he's a good one, too. He is a spotter at the Cup level. He's been a spotter for a long time. More on him in a moment. Spotter for Kyle Busch, talking about Derek Nealon. Let's visit once again Advent Health Care Center. Kim Kuhn is there.
And Johnny Sauter had a great race tonight. Unfortunately, won't get to finish it. What happened, and what was your take on the type of racing we saw here tonight?
Well, I mean, it's just obviously getting close to the nitty-gritty there. So I want to give it up to all the guys at Nice Motorsports for giving me the opportunity to come down here, Al and Cody and all the guys. That was the fastest speedway truck I've probably ever driven. So I want to thank Carl Chevrolet and Aida, everybody that came on board to help do this. Man, that truck was fast, and I made one mistake there when I was leading, and I got shuffled there, and then we were, they went 3 wide on us, and then I lined up on the bottom of that last restart, and we were making good hay there. I think I was going to be 5th or 6th when it all shuffled out, and then I was going to try to make a run on the top, but just didn't get there. So, yeah, it was a bummer. I needed to have a good run tonight, but, we were there, and we had a fast truck, so those guys should be proud of themselves.
That's Johnny Sauter.
Tough break. Johnny Sauter, one of the best, 3-time winner here at Daytona. And when he says this is the fastest speedway truck he's had here at Daytona, that says an awful lot.
Yeah, well, we know Nice will build a fast truck. You were talking about Derek Nealon out of the Northeast, a short tracker himself, and a highly talented spotter who works on Sunday for Kyle Busch. He's done this before. He's been in this position before. And if there's somebody that you want in your ear, Dave Moody, it would be Derek Nealon to not only coach, lead, but hopefully keep you at the front of the field.
In a situation like this now with just a handful of laps remaining, you don't want to have to think about what your spotter just told you. You have to trust him implicitly and on blind faith. If he tells you to drive it straight into the wall, you drive it straight into the wall. And Derek Nealon has that kind of trust from his driver. It's going to be very interesting to see how this shakes out now.
Field has gotten the one to go. They make their way into turns 3 and 4. They begin to line up 2 by 2 after the choose, climbing the 31 degrees of banking as they work in front of Dylan Welch.
And it's Nick Sanchez on the inside lane with Rajah Caruth, and the outside Taylor Gray and Corey LaJoie, who has been maybe the best pusher so far tonight, but is having trouble on restarts. So we'll keep an eye on his progress once we get going here, starting in the second spot on that outside lane.
Inside 10 to go right now, Cole. What are you thinking as a race car driver?
A push and shove for all you got. You know, I mean, it's been crazy all day, but this is where you really ramp it up. And if anybody's saying they know who's going to win this race, they're lying to you, because it's anybody's game.
Here they come up off turn number 4. Pace truck makes its way to pit lane. Back to the Geico restart zone they go. Who's going to get the shove and the help in the draft? Green goes in the air. Rajah Caruth, the outside lane, is going to get jacked up by Corey LaJoie. Rajah Caruth will go to the lead. LaJoie stays on that back bumper.
Corey LaJoie shoving for all he's worth. Rajah Caruth just trying to ride the wave. They pulled away by 3 truck lengths midway between 1 and 2. Caruth and LaJoie, then 3 truck lengths back to Nick Sanchez.
The front 2 are broken away, and everybody's stacked up from third on back, but now the pack will catch him, and here's the breaking of ranks. Nick Sanchez first to the outside, and everybody goes to the outside. Sanchez around Caruth for the lead.
All that momentum that LaJoie and Caruth had broken up by the time they get into turn 3. Now they're just trying to hang on to a top 5 spot. It's Nick Sanchez to the point with Taylor Gray and Jack Wood.
You better have somebody to work with you right now if you're going to go to victory lane in just 8 laps. Sanchez does, because he's got Taylor Gray pinned to the tailgate.
Nick Sanchez trying to ride that rocket at the front of the pack. He's got Taylor Gray on his back bumper for drafting help into turn number 1. Front 4 lined up on the bottom. Jack Wood rides in the 3rd spot. Rajah Caruth 4th. Corey LaJoie comeback trail to 5th.
Tyler Ankrum leads the outside line. They're up to position number 6. They're looking for position number 5 now as Corey LaJoie will dart to the outside. Rajah Caruth will beat him to the punch. Here comes Caruth and company to the outside.
Those 2 Spire Motorsports Chevrolets so strong here after this restart. Caruth has got help from LaJoie for the 2nd spot outside Taylor Gray. Sanchez goes up to wide.
That's a bold block by Nick Sanchez as he drifts to the outside lane. Leaves the bottom wide open. Taylor Gray wants the lead at Daytona. Can't get it. Half a truck length advantage. Outside lane leads it. But here comes Taylor Gray on the bottom.
The inside lane opened up like the parting of the Red Sea, and Taylor Gray takes advantage. He'll go to the bottom now. Drafting help from Jack Wood. Here comes Matt Crafton storming up on the inside to make his spot 3rd on the low lane.
2 by 2 by 2. They're about 10 rows deep of double wide racing. Taylor Gray to the bottom. Nick Sanchez outside, and they're crashing mid-pack. Timmy Hill is around. Chase Purdy, Tyler Ankrum, Christian Eckes. 4 trucks spinning and sliding out of control on the back straightaway.
Caution flag is out. Lap 93, soon to be 94. Chase Purdy with some fire out from underneath the right front, and now the front of that car, Mike Bagley, erupting in flames.
Yeah, it is putting out some flames. It started when he started bouncing across the infield grass. Those flames appear to be extinguished. Safety crews immediately on the scene. Everybody else is pulled away from the accident scene, and right now the focus for the safety crews as they arrive to Chase Purdy's truck, tending to him, and now Chase is climbing from that truck at the bottom of turn 3.
Caution on the speedway for the 11th time in the Fresh from Florida 250 after another crash over on the Daytona Superstretch. Mike, it's the straightest, most flat piece of real estate at Daytona, but it seems to cause more problems.
It does, and we see it not only in truck racing, we see it in the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series. It seems like that once they clear the corners, that's when they turn up the wick. We've seen it turned up all night long, the bump drafting just pounding away at those tailgates, and Right there, we saw some bump drafting go astray and askew. Only 4 trucks. It could have been a whole lot worse than what it was.
5 to go. Nick Sanchez, Rajah Caruth, Taylor Gray, Jack Wood, Corey LaJoy. Top 5 under caution. The rest of the top 10, Matt Crafton, Corey Heim, Tanner Gray, Brett Holmes, and Daniel Dye.
The NASCAR season is here, and Toyota Racing is looking for clashers. Did you clash at the Coliseum with your favorite Toyota drivers? Clashing with the HOA, who won't let you carve bell number 20 into your lawn? Or maybe your Tyler Reddick shirt clashed with your pants while meeting the in-laws. If you're a clasher, then we want you. Be part of the action at toyota.com/racing. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark of National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, Inc.
It was a season when NASCAR created the playoffs.
There's so much going on behind the scenes in 04.
A season with extreme emotion.
This has got to be the greatest day of my life. And the fight is on in the pit area.
We dodged a huge, devastating proposition that would have taken us out of this championship.
NASCAR Live presents 2004 Chasing History.
Somebody will look at a yardstick of our history, and 2004 is going to be on there.
Available Monday at MRN.com and wherever you download your podcasts.
The 11th caution flag here at Daytona ties the most for this event. 11 caution flags, 95 in, 5 to go. We work under one of those caution flags right now. From Daytona International Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
So, how do we get AI right?
Well, we need the right volume of data, the software to train it, and massive compute power, or...
Another one bites the dust. Are you ready? Hey, are you ready for this? Are you hanging on the edge of your seat?
But with HPE GreenLake, we get access to supercomputing to power AI at the scale we need, helping generate better insights.
All right.
Nice teamwork, guys.
Search HPE GreenLake.
You got a dead body, Inspector.
I may be able to help with that.
This winter, all your favorite detectives are streaming on BritBox. Don't miss exclusive new seasons of Death in Paradise.
There must be something we've missed.
Vera.
It wasn't an accident, was it, love?
Father Brown.
What did he look like?
And more. Once you start investigating, you won't want to stop.
We're done when I say we're done.
Stream your favorite detectives. Only on BritBox. Start a free trial at BritBox.com.
Hamlin now. He'll take the lead here at Vegas for the second time.
This is Denny Hamlin on your 24/7 home for NASCAR. SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Back at Daytona, working caution flag number 11. Nick Sanchez out front. Rajah Caruth, Taylor Gray, Corey LaJoy, Jack Wood, Corey Heim, Matt Crafton, 7th. Rest of the top 10, Tanner Gray, Brett Holmes, and Grant Enfinger. That is your top 10 at the moment, setting up for a shootout, although it feels like it's been a shootout every time we put him under the green flag.
Yeah, and that's part of what people love about racing here at Daytona, especially with the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. From the drop of the green flag, these racers don't have just ride in their vocabulary. They want to go out and they want to race, for better or for worse, and it's about survival. I know, Cole, you used that term a little earlier. You got to survive here at Daytona, and it's not just the Truck Series. You got to survive to get to the checkered flag.
Yeah, I mean, there's survival, and then there's extreme survival, which is what we have tonight. I mean, it is anything. If you just rode around in dead last all night, you could have a great shot at winning this thing right now, because it has been chaos. I mean, it's been wreck after wreck after wreck, and I think we're not done yet, too. I think they're gonna keep pushing and shoving, because everybody wants to win this race. It's gonna lock your ticket into the playoffs, and it's Daytona.
Well, that's a good point. You win tonight, you'll race for a championship. We saw it play out in a big way. Find a drafting partner. Work with somebody. Get somebody tucked up under the tailgate and shove you all the way to the front. How does that work? You're looking at manufacturers around you. You might not have a teammate around you. Obviously, the spotters are probably working with you. How do you determine, let's say you're back there running an 8th position, who wants to work, and we'll use you, with Cole Custer to get the 2 trucks all the way to the front?
Well, the only you're obviously going to work with your teammates. I think you look at the 71 and the 7 with LaJoy and Carruth, and they tried to tandem and really get a good push last restart, which it almost backfired on them because they pushed themselves so far out there that they actually lost momentum once they disconnected and they got eaten up. But I think it's only those two trucks are the ones I see really working together. I think everybody else is kind of every man for themselves.
Now, you have the opportunity, and it's going to happen sooner rather than later, to choose what lane to restart in. Is that based off of where the drafting partners are behind you, or is that based off of where you feel like your truck is best?
You know, if you don't have anybody out front of you to go and help, you're going to pick wherever you think's best for you. But if you see a teammate out front of you, you have a better shot of maybe going forward if you line up with them. So if you see a teammate out front, you're going to try and line up behind them and try and help both of you get to the front.
All right, so you keep saying teammate. Let's say there's no teammate around. Nobody is picking up you off the rear tailgate. Do you just simply go hammer down and search out that first truck that you think you want to push, jam the nose into the back of the tailgate and say, hang on, we're going to the front?
For sure. I mean, and sometimes that's the most fun when you have no teammates. You know, you're able to just race freely, not have to worry about anybody else, just make whatever moves you want, and hopefully somebody picks you up, you know. So it's a really fun time when you don't have a teammate at times just because you get to do whatever you want. But when you do have teammates, it does make it to where you can have that guy to always catch you and try and push you forward.
We did not get the one to go this time by, so it'll be at least a couple of more laps before we put him under the green flag. So that gives us a chance to visit down there. Kim Kuhn, what are these teams like right now? Their job is done. Is there nervous energy down there in the pit lane, or is this just a matter of sit back and watch?
Well, for my end of pit road, there aren't a lot of drivers left on my end of pit road. Unfortunately, a lot of them have ended up at the care center. But for the few that remain on this end of pit road, all of the teams seem pretty cool, calm, and collected. They're watching the big screens down here, sitting up against the pit wall, listening to the radio chatter of their team. The radio seems pretty calm, too. There's just a lot of spotter talk about what to expect when the green flag flies, and a lot of reminding the driver to keep your cool in these last 3 laps.
Working down on pit road, Steve Post, Jason Toy, and that was Kim Kuhn out in the turns all weekend long. This is your lineup, by the way. Dave Moody will be just outside turn number 2. Mike Bagley will be at the end of the back straightaway at Daytona, and Dylan Welch will be outside of turn number 4. My name is Jeff Striegel alongside Alex Hayden. Rusty Wallace will be with us on Sunday. We thank Cole Custer for being with us on Friday night and wish you, obviously, all the best, not only in our battle with Mother Nature, but once we do cut them loose, all the best to you. You're always welcome up here, and you know that.
I appreciate it. It's a lot of fun up here with you guys.
And he says that with a sheepish grin on his face. Alex, before we go back under the green flag, and hopefully it will simply be, because we're headed to overtime, a green-white, well, actually we would not be headed to overtime, would we? Green-white checker finish. So Nick Sanchez, we will officially be overtime. So a green-white checker finish. Let's take a second and make sure everybody understands how that will work. They come off 4, take the green flag when we head to overtime.
Yeah, so the green flag will go in the air. If there's a caution before they come back around on that first lap, then we'll line up and do it again. We'll do that procedure as many times as it takes. But if the green flag comes out and they race all the way around this 2.5-mile super speedway, get back to the start-finish line, and the white flag goes in the air, the leader crosses the line under the white flag, then the next flag ends it, whether it's a checkered flag finish or if there's another problem on the race course and that will force a caution flag, they will freeze the field, and then whoever's leading at that point will be deemed the winner of the race. It's exciting, and I don't know if there's a preferred place to be. Do you want to be the race leader? Do you want to be pushing, knowing that there could be a caution on the final lap and they freeze the field? So there's a lot that goes into this.
Rajah Carruth will start inside row 1, and he will have some drafting help behind him. Mike Bagley, they're over in front of you. Lights out. We're ready to go.
And we are lined up double wide. Nick Sanchez will restart on the inside. Rajah Carruth to his right elbow. And then that's where things get dicey from there on back. back. Taylor Gray flexing some muscle a few moments ago, but Corey LaJoie, who's been very aggressive in the late going, he will start to Taylor Gray's right elbow on the outside of the second row.
Coming through turns 3 and 4 right now as the field bundles up in front of Dylan Welch. The anticipation, the nervous energy, Dylan, it's there.
It is, and I'm curious again to watch those two Spire Motorsports trucks in the outside lane. That tandem worked well to get them to the front, but do they rein it in a little bit just to try to make sure they don't get too far out in front?
Well, let's find out together. This crowd at Daytona, and it's big, is coming to their feet. The anticipation of one shot at a green, white, checkered finish at Daytona.
Geico restart zone is where they're at, and the green flag goes back in the air. Nick Sanchez getting shoved by all he's worth by Taylor Gray on the inside lane, but don't stop there. Here comes the outside lane propelling again.
Outside lane is right there. The Spire teammates Rajah Caruth with a bed full of Corey LaJoie shoving hard in an outside lane. This time they don't get a huge jump, but it's Caruth by half a truck length.
Here comes Rajah Caruth, courtesy of Corey LaJoie's drafting assistance from the high side of turn number 2. Both those drivers will ease down on the low lane. Rajah Caruth leads at Daytona.
Corey LaJoie second. They try to defend the outside lane charge. Nick Sanchez and Taylor Gray are there. It's a 4-pack at the front of the field. Jack Wood, fifth in line, joins the outside lane.
Rumbling off turn number 4, white flag goes in the air. If they cross the line, the race is official. Here they come. Nick Sanchez across the line. He will lead them back to turn number 1 for the final time.
Sanchez in that outside lane.
Lead them back to turn number 1 for the final time.
Sanchez in that outside lane stampedes the long way around to take over the lead. He'll slide back down into the low lane in front of Gray now. Here comes Sanchez off turn 2. Gray is second. Third on the outside lane. Jack Wood gets turned into the outside wall. Head on.
Lead them back to turn number 1 for the final time.
Sanchez in that outside lane stampedes the long way around to take over the lead. He'll slide back down into the low lane in front of Gray now. Here comes Sanchez off turn 2. Gray is second. Third on the outside lane. Jack Wood gets turned into the outside wall. Head on goes Gray as the field explodes midway on the Daytona Superstretch.
And Taylor Gray, and right now the safety crews are tending to him. Dean
goes Gray as the field explodes midway on the Daytona Superstretch.
And Taylor Gray, and right now the safety crews are tending to him. Dean Thompson's around. Corey LaJoie, driver's side into the safer barrier on the outside. Daniel Dye took a heck of a shot across the infield and into the inside safer barrier. Right now, safety crews are tending to Daniel. Got a handful of trucks left. Everybody else has left the accident scene after a very chaotic and hellacious last lap at Daytona.
But the win
after a very chaotic and hellacious last lap at Daytona.
But the win belongs to Nick Sanchez, to Steve Post.
Kevin Bono Mannion, you're going back to victory lane here at Daytona.
Post.
Kevin Bono.